Welcome into the midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do a show on a game that I'm not even sure how they pulled it off even a day later.
Incredible. The absolute eruption of joy of everybody I was watching it with, which is in our newsroom, and just everybody's busy, and we do get a little bit of an advance feed, but we can hear the link right behind us, and it was euphoric. It was in disbelief, though. It was like, what are we watching? Fastest man I ever saw. Fastest man I ever saw. Jordan Davis, you fast man.
In the living room of where I was no, that didn't just happen. And then, of course, just yelling out, Slim JD!
Let's
Slim
go,
JD!
Peloton!
Take it to the house. I could not believe it. I still can't believe
18 miles an hour. He reached.
Well, yeah, that too. I can't believe that as well.
No, it was funny. I dropped off Baker at preschool this morning, and the head teacher, who is a season ticket holder for Eagles, her voice is a little raspy this morning, and she was like, "Did you see that game? Were you there?" And I was like, "I was on Phillies duty," and I could tell. I was like, "I know you were there, Connie. I could tell you were there." She was screaming like the rest of them, and the people that left that had to listen to that on the radio.
Oh.
Though I appreciate the fact that you want to get out, and I think that listening to it on the radio, because I've heard the Merrill call, fabulous.
Yep.
Lost his mind as well. He should have, but I mean, he could have anyway. But I get it. Traffic is a beast.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of points in that game where, like, they scored the touchdown to Goddard, and there was the conversation in the room of, like, that's like the Miracle at the Meadowlands Selleck touchdown. Like,
Right,
we're starting to move on.
Yeah,
like,
here we go.
Like, the room starts to believe. And the room started to believe, and as it keeps happening, they kept giving you reasons, one, to believe, but also the other side of that of, like, oh, maybe they're not going to do it here, maybe they're not going to do it here. And then when they don't get the 2-point conversion,
Yes.
in my head, I'm like, ooh.
See,
That's going to come back to haunt you.
I didn't actually think the only time that's going to come back to haunt you came in to my mind is when the Rams didn't go when they went for it on a 4th down and didn't kick the field goal, and I thought that's going to come back to haunt them in a good way for the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I thought when they didn't get the 2-point conversion, because I was like, there was the euphoria of them scoring that touchdown, taking the lead. I was like, they got it. And then when they didn't pick up the 2-point conversion, and I could hear the fight song going on in the stadium. It's always a weird thing when they don't get the 2-point conversion.
Or they're still cheering.
Or they miss the extra point, and they still have to have the fight song going at that point. And it's like, yeah, we didn't totally finish the job there. But they were able to finish the job in this game. Let's just hear the Jordan Davis. By the way, Jordan Davis, tremendous. Joe Davis, also tremendous. This call to close out the game.
98, the man that blocked it last time, right in the middle. From 44. Joshua Carty has it blocked again! This time Jordan Davis, the big man, looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on!
Jordan Davis, the block of his life.
It's
I mean,
incredible.
just honestly, like, that moment, I still can't believe they won that game. And it goes back to the invincibility conversation we had earlier this week, or earlier last week, like a week ago, when Rich Eisen said it. Like, if they don't lose that game, how am I supposed to expect them to lose games going forward? But to the real point of all this, we can react to just how awesome a game that was and how awesome the comeback was. It's one of the classic, if you flip the script of that game today, we're having a totally different show. Had they been the team that had the lead throughout and they still found a way to win it, the way the Rams didn't, but had they still found a way to win it, we'd be talking totally different about what a collapse. How do you let that happen?
Yeah, they squeaked one by. This is not sustainable.
Right. Well, we'll get to sustainability at some point today. I'm sure we will. But in a weird way, I hated the first half the way all of you hated the first half. I don't want to pretend like it was a good first half. But was it potentially a good thing for this team to be punched in the mouth there like that, to actually open up what they had to do offensively?
No.
Like, obviously, you don't want to see them have that first half.
That's what I mean.
But in the general sense of what we're talking about, like, they finally, like, Hertz finally had the moment on the sideline where you saw with Patullo of, like, hey, we got to do something. A.J. Brown after the game is like, hey, they got me the ball. That's what changed. They were very, very okay with the idea of playing not to lose so much with the talent that they have.
Right.
That they finally got more aggressive once they fell down. You can't do that every week. We know that. That's not a sustainable formula. I'm not saying every week they should get down by double-digit points and then get aggressive. No. But now that they've gotten aggressive and now that they've seen that it worked, for the long-term health of all of us watching this football team and them actually having an offense that is aesthetically pleasing to watch, going down like that in the first half, as weird as it sounds, finally showed you it's there.
It's possible.
You have it.
You can do it.
Just use it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I get it, and I do think that it will help. I don't know that it's the Pandora's box that you want it to be. I don't know that they've opened it, and now they can't stop themselves. I think their game plan is still going to be pretty risk-averse going forward. I know that's not what you want to hear. I don't see them all of a sudden becoming the team that we saw in the second half for an entire game. I hope so. That would be great, but I don't know that that's in their DNA right now.
But they showed you. It's right there. It's right there in your DNA. You can do it.
Did show you that.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, they go down in that first half. And in that room, like, I'll be honest with you, when they go down, I'm like, yeah, okay. You know.
This is it. We're going to chalk this up.
Yeah, we'll be talking about tomorrow. I'm thinking, like, hey, tough go of it. Revenge game for the Rams, whole thing, yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm thinking through it. And to watch them open it up in that second half, in my mind, this has to be a springboard to opening up that offense and getting more aggressive. You hear from all of them talking postgame. We're going to play plenty for you. Like, coming up in the next segment, we got A.J. Brown talking about it. Nick Sirianni also addressing A.J. Brown's aspect of all this, being like, yeah, I'm proud of him the way he answered the last 2 weeks the questions. But the questions existed because you did not open it up, because you had this talent, you weren't able to make it happen. You want to say, all right, they went to Arrowhead, they faced Spags, tough go of it, blitzing, they had to get the ball out quick. Fine, throw the excuse out the window on that one. They say the Cowboys, weather delay. They were efficient, then the weather delay happened. Look what happened to the Cowboys offense. Fine, throw that out of the way. First half of that game, I got nothing for you.
There's a lot of throwing things out.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you want to keep throwing excuses at the way, the first half of that game, I have nothing but what a vanilla offense, what a disappointing result. Like, I don't know where else you could start to find excuses.
Learned?
Yeah, like at this point, like you're 10 quarters into a season, let's find a little bit of something. And they found the aggression in the second half. And as bad as it was to watch that first half, the rewarding factor of winning that game, but also the rewarding idea of, hey,
you know you can do it.
They showed themselves, like, I don't know if they needed to remind themselves. I don't know if we need to be reminded of it, but the aggression was there, and they were able to execute, and they're able to come back and win. And for all we saw offensively for the first 10 quarters of the season, those last 2 quarters should be a sign to that team. You can dominate in a whole nother level. Why not do it?
Yeah, and I think that the one thing that it will do for sure is give Kevin Patullo and Jaylen Herz that confidence going forward. So when they do need to dial it up like that, now I don't know that they're going to be doing that for an entire game as much as we want them to start out that way, but I do think they will have a little bit more aggressive. But I don't know. It would just be so. It wouldn't be something we'd seen yet. It's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just we have not seen that. So I'm still going to say probably not to the degree that you want them to as far as airing it out. But I think that at least the confidence is there. It worries me that it took something like that.
That's concerning.
You know what I mean? It's like, at what point was it down that you needed to be down 19 to think, you know what would be fun? I don't know. Let's just throw this out there. Throwing the ball further than 8 yards.
Duh. Like, I'm sorry. That's why the first half was ugly, and I hated every second of it. The way the second half goes, I'm like, you know what? I suffered, but maybe my suffering led to me getting what I actually wanted. And maybe all I had to go through was that ugly of a half for this team to realize who they actually are. And that's what I'm curious for people out there. Do you think this is the springboard to something bigger? Do you think this is the springboard to where they will actually open things up offensively? Because I think justifiably, yes, you have to realize it. You were able to do that. A.J. Brown's throwing guys to the ground.
Right.
Number 11 still plays on this team.
So very good receiver.
Oh, man.
Maybe one of the best, if you will, if you're so inclined. Yeah, it was frustrating to watch the first half because you're thinking it's more of the same. You're trying to nickel and dime your way down the field, and that's a very good Rams defense, and we saw it. And they just couldn't get anything going. Saquon completely bottled up. These little, short little passes to Devontae Smith, nothing was working. And you just wondered why it took being down 19 points.
You can get in that game with us at 610-632-0975. Should this serve as the springboard to the aggression offensively for you? And speaking of getting aggressive, A.J. Brown talking after the game. He wants to really get aggressive offensively, and Nick Sirianni complimented the fact that he hasn't gotten aggressive at answering the questions that he didn't want to answer over the last couple of weeks. We'll play those for you coming up next as we react to the Birds' improbable, incredible, come-from-behind victory over the Rams. Alongside Amy Fiddle, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia is a sports city full of passion.
I'm giving more credit to the architect. I'm giving more credit to Howie Roseman because I firmly believe that in 2023, when you saw that defense really struggle at linebacker, in the secondary at safety, James Bradbury fell off a cliff, I don't think it would have mattered who the defensive coordinator was. I don't think it would have mattered if Vic Fangio was here. They tried Sean Desai. They tried Matt Patricia. They had a significant lack of personnel that I think contributed to that being one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Then they hire Vic Fangio, and Fangio comes in here, and before the season, he was asked, what makes your defenses so good? And his response, good players. And you just look at Howie Roseman's last few drafts of defensive players. This time, he gives them Jahad Campbell and Drew Makuba. Last year, he gives them Quinyon, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt. The year before, he gives them Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Morrow Ajomo in the 7th damn round. And the year before that, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. Not to mention the free agent signing of Zach Bond mixed in here. I'm giving him a majority of the credit. As good as Fangio is, and we love you, Vic, it's got to go to the architect.
I think that's cute on your part. That's really cute. Going right to the architect, your buddy, because he hangs out with you, with your uncle. I think that's really cute.
Wait. People used to say Sirianni was my cousin. Now he's my uncle.
He's your uncle.
Now he's my uncle. I think we're the same age.
Yeah, I was going to say they're about the same age. That don't make any sense.
Okay, brother. How's that? Is brother better?
Yeah,
brother.
I'm actually Jay Sirianni.
I think the whole point is he's your interest. How's that?
Or
he's
you could
of
just
your
say
interest.
he is your family member.
Yes, family member. Good.
Interest sounds a little bit like romance related.
See, you love him. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Which is
make your
fine.
point. Make your
You
point.
go to Howie Roseman. Okay, fine.
He's a good-looking guy.
Howie has drafted well. I don't take anything away from you. Let me bring up Zach Bond. Remember that guy came over? Outside linebacker, right? Am I right or wrong? Outside linebacker.
That one you got to give Fangio credit.
Outside linebacker who he made a standout star as a linebacker.
I'll give you that
inside linebacker, as a matter of fact. And who told us he was going to be inside? Vic Fangio did before even putting him on the field. Why? Because he looks at tape. He understands players. He knows where to put them. He knows where to put them in situations where they're going to do well. Oh, by the way, you drafted Cooper DeJean. You drafted Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to sit there and tell me when Howie drafted these guys that you said, those dudes are going to be starters this year. They're going to be unbelievable. They're going to be the best ever. Did you say that? Was that your thought process?
I was excited about him, but I did not expect him to acclimate this quickly.
So why?
Listen,
because it's on
coaching.
Howie. Because Howie drafted them, they should be the best players in the world. Yes, it is solid coaching. As a matter of fact, Vic has a very good eye for his players. He understands where to put his players to make them the best at their possible positions. He understands how to get the most out of each and every one of his players. And you know what? He's not afraid of these players, which makes them respect him. It's Vic Fangio. It's his defense. It's the way he sorts these guys and puts them where they need to be.
In the middle there, as Hertz uses legs. He'll look to throw. To the sideline. It's Smith. He's got it. Touchdown Philly. All the way back to take the lead.
Joe Davis saying exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, man, they're going to try and have Hertz win this with his legs right here.
Go.
Good luck. Man, Eagles come from behind and beat the Rams. And, like, my lifetime miracle at the Meadowlands and this game, like, in terms of regular season wins that you just don't ever anticipate, there's been a lot of incredible regular season games where I've watched and been like, oh, I don't even understand what I'm watching here. But a lot of them
Right.
are just pure dominance from start to finish where they just pick apart a team. This is one where it could not have been worse. And then it actually could have been worse. That was the
Yeah.
funny thing about it. The first half ends like, well, I don't think they're going to win this one, but at least they're not getting crushed. And then they go down 19. You're like,
Famous
well,
last word.
now they're going to get crushed, and they surely don't. They find their way back into this one. They open it up, and now we get a chance to have a victory Monday here on the Midday Show alongside Amy Fidul. I'm Ray Dunn. That touchdown was to Devontae Smith, who still plays for the Eagles.
Correct.
A.J. Brown also still plays for the
currently
Eagles.
employed.
Yes, just reminding anyone out there who might be calling the plays offensively for this team. They're there if you want to use them.
1A receivers.
Yes, they're there if you want to use them.
Fun things to do.
A.J. Brown echoes the sentiment we have right here. Hey, we're still here. Maybe utilize us. Here's Brown talking postgame.
Me personally, I truly believe, man, we got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative, and I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing, and play fast and play aggressive. I'm not saying that we haven't been, but me personally, that's what I would like. Obviously we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna set up the run off the pass and the pass off the run, but we have a lot of good players and I feel like you should just let us go. So it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that. I do love it. Early, he's like, I'm not saying we've been conservative, but by the end, he's like, yeah, it should be like that. Get me the ball.
Yeah.
Get him the ball. They did get him the ball. Look what happened.
He said it all along, and I think he said it in a very diplomatic way the last couple of weeks. And we know the frustrations that A.J. Brown had last year, right? They were well documented. We all heard about them. He addressed them. Jaylen Herz had to address them. Nick Sirianni had to address them. When you talk to receivers, and I've talked to receivers over the years, current and past, there's one thing they want to do. They want the damn ball. That's literally what Randy Moss told us. We all know this. Jason Avant, who I talk to all the time, he's like, we're divas. That's generally what the position entails. We think we're the best because we are the best and we're what makes the offense go. I get it. And so, but AJ's been very diplomatic, and he said it a couple weeks ago for the first time when he addressed some of the, when he didn't have the one target. It's like, listen, I make this team better. I make this offense better. That's not cocky. That's just a fact. A.J. Brown is a top receiver. You want to get him the ball? Kevin Patullo said, I want to get him the ball. Simple fact is they just hadn't, and you were wondering why. And I don't know why it took down 19 points before they realized. Like, literally, there's people that have A.J. Brown in there, and not to make it fantasy football related, but it is. And you thought you benched him because, well, here's a guy that's getting you 6 points, which is ridiculous.
Should not bench a guy you drafted that early in September. All right? Got to have a little bit more faith in your ability to draft.
Well, and then therefore.
That's on you. That's not on Kevin Patullo. That's on you. That's on the fantasy football owners at home.
A little bit on Kevin.
No, that's on you. You got to realize it's going to happen at some point.
A little bit.
It happened. Finally. But you mentioned just how diplomatic he's been, and Nick Sirianni spoke about that post-game, just about how proud he is of A.J. Brown's answers over the last 2 weeks.
You don't have to live your life and as a team, as a football team, the way people think you should respond. I watched A.J. Brown handle all your questions as a great teammate and with grace. Obviously, he wants the football. Obviously, he needs to get the football. Obviously, to do the things that we want to do, he's got to have the season that he's had the last couple years, the last 3 years when he's been second-team All-Pro.
Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
to get his individual accolades, he's got to put up the numbers, obviously. He did a really good job last year of sacrificing and realizing what the greater good was. Mm-hmm. We talked about it 2 weeks ago when he gave the answer after week 1, talking about, hey, listen, I'm not really here for participation trophies when it comes to blocking for running plays. It's part of the job description that he has, but it's not part that he enjoys. And I said that was a very fair thing for him to assess and talk about when it came to the running game. He got his. But the issue for me is so much of, should it have to take you being down 19 for him to get his? And that's the beauty of yesterday is they pull off this improbable, incredible, amazing comeback where we're sitting here today like 3-0, and I'm watching on social media as Rams fans, Rams reporters, Rams ecosystem really there is just convincing themselves, hey, we showed we can play with those guys. And it's like, yeah, you showed that in the divisional round too. If you have the same reaction every time, like moral victories are not there. It's your old favorite saying. Go ahead, Amy. I know what you're going to say.
No, we can't have that.
Oh, no.
That's my favorite saying.
Okay, second favorite. There's no room for...
Oh, there's no room for comments in the win-loss column.
Exactly. There's not.
Except for when we write really, really small.
Well, the Rams people right now are doing that.
They're writing
saying, like,
really,
yeah,
really
they
small.
got a little commentary in there. Yeah, we're 2-1, but
no room for comments. You put the W or the L and you move on.
and it's the beauty of yesterday for all it was. There were justifiable questions going into that game, and you found pretty much every concern early on there. And I found a new one.
You were shown every concern.
I didn't think I was going to be that concerned about the running defense. And then first half, I was like, well, Kyron Williams just might be Walter Payton. I don't know what they're going to do to stop this guy.
He is a very good running back.
I don't know what they're going to do to stop this guy.
Oh.
It's incredible, though, to watch the way they adjust and really the way that Hertz and that offense took over that game because you knew it was there. Some people will deny that it's there. I knew it was there. You knew it was there. Sean Rodman knew it was there. We knew it was there. They just had to show it to you, and they finally showed it to you. And that's the reason why, as bad as that first half was, I'll take that suffering if it springboards this into them being more aggressive. And I'm hoping that that's what that first half did.
Yeah, and if it does become the Pandora's box and it's open and they can't put it back in, not that you want them to, I want them to use it wisely. And I feel like that's what, there's got to be a happy medium between what we saw for the first 10 quarters and then the last, not maybe between the last two, but somehow you need to get more of that. And I don't know, I'm still not sold that they're going to be able to do it for an entire game. And maybe it takes little jump starts like that. But the next game up, you would think it would be a perfect opportunity to keep that ball rolling, keep everything going from the second half, really the second, halfway through the third into the fourth.
When Fred Johnson gets in there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the greatest backup offensive lineman of all time.
So when when Lane Johnson gets hurt, and then you see there was the penalties, and then Matt Pryor got beat badly on that one. I was like, oh, okay, well, this
Hertz getting lit up is not something we're used to seeing.
No, that's what it was. So when they showed the replay of that, if you're an offensive lineman and you're facing your quarterback, something's gone very wrong. You should not be looking at him eye to eye.
Very handsome man. Don't be looking at him like that.
That's what Matt Pryor was doing. And I was like, that is not a good sign, dude. You should not be turned around.
Coming up, we'll get to your reaction to that game at 610-632-0975. And a lot of people trying to get in early on here. And speaking of Jaylen Herz, I love the way he goes about answering the question about where this offense has been and where it's going. Because it's the most Hertz thing of all time. We'll play that for you coming up next. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What a win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and this update is brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Live bet sports on the BetParks app and play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. It ended with a blocked field goal and a touchdown return by Jordan Davis, but the Eagles came back originally down 19 points in the second half with only 34 total yards at halftime. Jaylen Herz had 204 yards through the air in the second half. Hertz spoke postgame on the beautifully ugly win.
We've been talking about taking pride in winning. We take pride in this game, as ugly as it was and as beautiful as it ended. That's the agony and ecstasy of the game of football.
We'll see if it can be a little less ugly next week against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup on the road, this time in Tampa. Lane Johnson left yesterday's game early due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media today around 3:15. The Phillies lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks. It is the first series loss since being swept by the Mets in August. The Phils have the day off today before finishing the season at home. The next up is the Marlins in a three-game series. I'm Sean Rodman, and this update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 36 that gave the Eagles a field goal, a gimme field goal in the third quarter. The game was lost when Harrison Butker missed a field goal that would have been a 3-point. So that's when the game was lost.
Okay, so John, so why the sensitivity then?
Because
okay,
you said just said it was a fact that the Eagles lost. You said the game was won on Get Up. You said the game was won because of the tush push. That was not fact, and you just said it was fact again. It wasn't won because of the tush push.
It was one of the factors involved in that game.
You didn't say that.
Stop that play. Oh, okay. Well, you know what, John? I'm not going to go into Get Up when I got 20 seconds. Well, they did this and they did that and they did this.
Well, weren't they bigger? Okay, were they bigger factors or were they less factors? Because I think Travis Kelce and that interception was a bigger factor in the Chiefs losing than the tush push. Andy Reid twice going out of character was a bigger decision. Butker missing a field goal was a bigger than the tush push, which accounted for 5 yards in the game.
John, fine. What does that have to do with my opinion on the tush push? Again, people are mistaken. So I'm not giving the Eagles flowers for making other plays? Okay, good. They did make those plays. Again, bravo. Excellent. They won the game. Great job. Okay, but people feel cheated that I didn't salute them for stopping them on 4th and 1 or coming up with a big pick. I'm just talking about the tush push and the ire it's raised across the league and across the country. People all worked up. I've never been one that's been worked up about it or against the play.
We absolutely have backed you on that. Andrew and I backed you on that completely.
The reason that I'm so presumptuous that Patullo will figure it out is I get that he's never called plays before. That's why I'm willing to give him some time to figure that part of it out. But this was the guy who was the passing game coordinator over the last few seasons where you just saw them win a Super Bowl. You saw them go to a Super Bowl. He was the pass game coordinator. So I know there's been a lot of chatter, and we even played the Dan Orlovsky clip yesterday of talking about how predictable the passing game was with routes to A.J. Brown running the same route over and over and over again. Patullo was the pass game coordinator. So are we really just thinking to ourselves that, well, even though he was the pass game coordinator, he probably didn't do anything. It was all Kellen Moore. Even though he was the pass game coordinator, probably didn't do anything. It was all Shane Steichen. He was a part of those passing offenses, so I do think he's going to figure it out. I think that he has also earned the benefit of the doubt. Like I said yesterday, this team has earned our patience. I think the fact that Patullo has been your passing game coordinator with a team that's been extremely successful, he has earned our patience as well.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 36 that gave the Eagles a field goal, a gimme field goal in the third quarter. The game was lost when Harrison Butker missed a field goal that would have been a 3-point.
Touchdown, Philadelphia. They attack downfield. Voila. 33-yard touchdown.
Hertz could do it.
Voila.
Who would have thought? Voila.
Voila.
You feel very comfortable on the mic there,
Voila.
for a good reason. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you middays here on The Fanatic. We all realize Hertz can do it, right? Like, we've I thought we moved past that after the Super Bowl. After 2 weeks, I kind of felt the people starting to go back to, regressing to some old bad habits. Talking about Jaylen Herz, I felt like our fan base was starting to regress back into a little bit of, some bad habits. I'll say, it's early in the season. The offense did not look crisp. He does share blame in that, but then people take it to the extreme degree. And second half, nice to see him open up. So interesting.
Yes.
A couple of things that we got from the telecast, from cameras being on Jaylen Herz. The Patullo thing was obviously just tremendous. Hertz, even for his biggest detractors, I think in that moment, everyone in the Delaware Valley was right there with Jaylen Herz.
Yes.
Was like, if I could right now be locked in eye to eye with Patullo, I would have my finger in his face yelling at him as well.
What are we doing?
But even better than that was Hertz and the reaction to the kick being blocked.
It reminded me of one thing. Of when Villanova, Jay Wright, the lack of just anything, because if I remember, Jay Wright said after that, like he was like, well, there might have been time on the clock, so I had to like focus. And is Jaylen Hertz thinking like, there might have been time on the clock? I had to. No, that's just how you guys you're built that way,
wired that way.
It's incredible.
Even better is Sirianni running into him.
Yeah,
because you see
he's like going like this.
In one moment, just how different those two guys are wired.
Isn't that the dichotomy of
Hell
them?
yeah. Hertz is just walking forward,
he's like,
and here comes Sirianni running,
going
slamming
like
right into him.
Everyone else.
Yeah. It's like,
celebrating, and he's like, that would have been perfect with just like a little handshake of like, yes, congratulations, great win. Just like, I love it. But it would have been very strange to see Jaylen Hertz jump up, throw his arms up, and hoot and holler. I don't know that I would have.
Hertz, the Sunday Night Football pregame, Football Night America.
Yes.
With it was Maria Taylor and Jordan Davis doing the sit-down interview. Hertz popping in the background there showed a little bit of personality.
It did. He's got personality.
I know.
You see it every now and again with the smirks and like the little side comments, which I appreciate because they're calculated. But a general like euphoric reaction, I don't mean the man's won national championships and he's played in national championships. He's won conference tournaments and. Well, I guess.
Amen. Yeah. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah. You know what? Eyes on the prize.
All right. Before we get you that Hertz audio we were talking about, let's get some reaction in here. So what do we got on the text line at 610-632-0975?
All right, Rob who lives in Minnesota from Phillies says, yesterday's game to me, the best parts were even though the Eagles team is great, Jaylen does what he does and wins. There was the narrative that if the Eagles ever fell behind in the game more than 2 touchdowns, Jaylen would not be able to leave them back with his arm. Jaylen again proved all doubters wrong, and they will not give him the credit, I bet you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are people today that are like, well, see, I told you, he's not throwing to the open receivers. Like, I'm sure that's a general takeaway from some people today.
Or like they didn't deserve to win that game. It's going to be a popular narrative.
Well, yeah, did Hertz block those 2 field goals?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
his defense did the job.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You can have those.
He has to score the touchdown.
Ultimately, we did it last week about being the it team and the hateable brand in the NFL. Everything that I did it's funny, I watched that game yesterday with the Patriots fan. And the Patriots fan is saying these things about the Eagles. I'm like, you can't say any of these things because you lived it. Like, you lived being that team. You're now just hating because your time is come and gone. Like, you are now have turned into the fan that hated your franchise, like the just national hater. And that's part of where the dialogue will come from this week. But what Rob said there, talking about coming back from 2 touchdowns, was a big thing that was against this team. And numbers-wise, it was something justifiably you could say about this team. They had not trailed like that and come back in quite a bit, and yet they found a way. They did it,
and that's what's incredible because there's always going to be the narrative. If Jaylen Hertz didn't squash the narrative by the Super Bowl performance that he put on, which was one for the ages, and technically, if you think about it, 2 Super Bowl performances because he beat Patrick Mahomes technically twice, and I know he had the miscue in the first Super Bowl against the Chiefs, but it was an absolute masterclass. He earned that MVP in every single way. If you don't silence it with that, nothing you will do will ever silence it.
But they become that brand. You got to rip apart the quarterback. All right, what else we got on the text line?
All right, next up, Zach from Florida says, I've been saying this team looks the best going back the last couple of years when they are in full attack mode. There's too much talent to be scared, and if everyone is going to sell out to stop Saquon, it means the passing game is wide open.
Yeah.
That was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they did. But they didn't do it in the first 2 weeks, even when they sold out to stop Saquon, right? The Cowboys stopped him, the Chiefs. it was the same exact script. Unfortunately, there was still that reticent kind of feeling to throw the ball or the deep ball, even though they had addressed it. Too low early this week. Like, yeah, we look for it. It's part of our game plan. And you wanted to be like, and yet.
Right. Yeah. I plan on starting to eat healthy. I plan on starting to go to the gym.
I'd love to win the lottery. Problem is I don't play.
Yeah. Like, you can plan on a lot of things in this life. If you don't actually go out and do it, what does it mean?
And I think that there was that, and they've talked about being risk averse and not having the payoff wasn't always there. And I understand it's not always going to be there, right? The big payoff isn't always going to be there. The problem is when you don't, what's the Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
I know that that's like a silly thing.
I live
to
by
say.
that thing.
Sure. I live by the Michael Scott version of it. But it's one of those things that it is so simple when you break it down. If you're completely avoiding the idea of the long pass for the threat of the interception, then you've cut your nose off to spite your face.
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
Well, Jaylen Herz wants both of us to know, Sean Rodman to know, those listening to know, that we might care about all this that we just talked about.
Yes.
But if, believe it or not, so long as they win the game, he doesn't care. Here's Hertz after the game.
Man, nobody cares how it gets done. It's just a matter of getting it done. And you guys care about how it gets done. I don't. Man, just going out there and finding a way to win, man. AJ, he made some big-time plays. He made some big-time catches. And Smitty made some big-time catches. Fred showed up and showed out when his number was called on. JD on the other side, yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful game, and I think I just take a lot of pride in finding ways to win because that's why you play the game. And I also take a lot of pride in playing to a standard, too, so.
Fred Johnson, man.
Standard is the standard.
Fred Johnson, the greatest backup offensive lineman of all time. Fred
Johnson.
In terms
Good
of
thing they made that trade, huh?
Yeah, that
he
worked
was
out
gone,
for you.
and now he's back, baby.
Imagine, what would our lives be like today if we didn't have Fred
Johnson in our life?
I don't know.
We got a shout out. I like that Jaylen says he doesn't care about how they win. Okay.
He says none of these guys care about how we win, which is just a lie.
There's no.
You don't care. He doesn't care.
I think he might care a smidge. He wants it to look nice.
Sure he does.
He wants it
but
to
he's
look
made
nice.
winning the entire brand.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the main thing.
Yeah.
And you got to keep the main thing the main thing.
We'll go to the phone lines when we get back at 610-632-0975. On top of that, he mentioned JD. Slim JD.
Let's go.
The big game for Jordan Davis. He spoke to the media following the game. That Peloton, man, that guy better have a deal.
Listen.
That guy better have a deal with Peloton by the end of the week.
He needs to go and be like, have a class in the studio.
We'll play that for you coming up. Alongside Amy Phil, I'm Ray Dunn. Taking through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Fanatic's Andrew DiCecco, the Philadelphia.
I'm giving more credit to the architect. I'm giving more credit to Howie Roseman because I firmly believe that in 2023, when you saw that defense really struggle at linebacker, in the secondary at safety, James Bradbury fell off a cliff, I don't think it would have mattered who the defensive coordinator was. I don't think it would have mattered if Vic Fangio was here. They tried Sean Desai. They tried Matt Patricia. They had a significant lack of personnel that I think contributed to that being one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Then they hire Vic Fangio, and Fangio comes in here, and before the season, he was asked, what makes your defenses so good? And his response, good players. And you just look at Howie Roseman's last few drafts of defensive players. This time, he gives them Jahad Campbell and Drew Makuba. Last year, he gives them Quinyon, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt. The year before, he gives them Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Morrow Ajomo in the 7th damn round. And the year before that, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. Not to mention the free agent signing of Zach Bond mixed in here. I'm giving him a majority of the credit. As good as Fangio is, and we love you, Vic, it's got to go to the architect.
I think that's cute on your part. That's really cute. Going right to the architect, your buddy, because he hangs out with you, with your uncle. I think that's really cute.
Wait. People used to say Sirianni was my cousin. Now he's my uncle.
He's your uncle.
Now he's my uncle. I think we're the same age.
Yeah, I was going to say they're about the same age. That don't make any sense.
Okay, brother. How's that? Is brother better?
Yeah, I'm actually Jay Sirianni.
I think the whole point is he's your interest. How's that?
Or
he's
you could
of
just
your
say
interest.
he is your family member.
Yes, family member. Good.
Interest sounds a little bit like romance related.
See, you love him. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Which is
make your
fine.
point. Make your
You go
point.
to Howie Roseman. Okay, fine.
He's a good-looking guy.
Howie has drafted well. I don't take anything away from you. Let me bring up Zach Bond. Remember that guy came over? Outside linebacker, right? Am I right or wrong? Outside linebacker.
That one you got to give Fangio credit.
Outside linebacker who he made a standout star as a linebacker.
I'll give you that
inside linebacker, as a matter of fact. And who told us he was going to be inside? Vic Fangio did before even putting him on the field. Why? Because he looks at tape. He understands players. He knows where to put them. He knows where to put them in situations where they're going to do well. Oh, by the way, you drafted Cooper DeJean. You drafted Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to sit there and tell me when Howie drafted these guys that you said, those dudes are going to be starters this year. They're going to be unbelievable. They're going to be the best ever. Did you say that? Was that your thought process?
I was excited about him, but I did not expect him to acclimate this quickly.
So why?
Listen,
because it's on
coaching.
Howie. Because
Solid
Howie
coaching.
drafted them. They should be the best players in the world. Yes, it is solid coaching. As a matter of fact, Vic has a very good eye for his players. He understands where to put his players to make them the best at their possible positions. He understands how to get the most out of each and every one of his players. And you know what? He's not afraid of these players, which makes them respect him. It's Vic Fangio. It's his defense. It's the way he sorts these guys and puts them where they.
And it is blown up. No chance. Jordan Davis.
The Jordan Davis game.
Forever known as that. Forever. I know there's other. You could have told me up until that point I would have given you the Fred Johnson game.
Yeah.
But no, Jordan Davis sealed it.
Jordan Davis. I got to give credit also Zach Bond. I felt like we got a very good Zach Bond performance.
Very good.
I mean, not that that's out of the... Like, I think sometimes it becomes the game because you don't expect it to be the game.
Yeah, if this was last year, I would have been like, whoa, that's a Zach Bond. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
But no, now we expect it. He's an all-pro.
I apologize. It's still my at Ray.975 Instagram bio. I apologize for being the guy that doubted Zach Bond. You were here a lot for that, actually, during that spring where Fangio's talking, and Zach Bond was the first name you brought up, really?
It was like the only name it seemed like there for.
Godfather of defense, more on with the microphone.
Yep.
Point there to the Godfather of defense.
He was like, you know what I like? His linebacker, Zach Bond. And we're all like, I'm sorry. Who?
Zach Bond, the rotational edge rusher
the guy from the Saints?
The Saints?
That guy?
That guy?
Huh.
Yeah, worked
All
out
right.
for you. But the Jordan Davis game, the Fred Johnson game, and just one of the most incredible games I've ever been subjected to.
One of the most random yet awesome regular season games that I've seen ever in my life.
Could you imagine being a fan of the other 31 teams watching that game? Not even just the Rams. Like, we talked about the hateable brand last week.
Absolutely, of course they did.
Like, you are sitting at home seething. Like, imagine a Cowboys fan yesterday. You watch that, and then you get subjected to what? Which is a nice tease for Besides the Birds coming up at 11:30. We'll be ready for that. We will address that game coming up as one of our 5 games. But we want to address Jordan Davis and the game that he had, and that's what brings Lloyd to us at 610-632-610.
You got it.
632-0975. I'm so fired up about this game. I just can't read anymore. Lloyd, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning, gang. Happy Victory Monday and Laryngitis Monday. Oh, my God, what a freaking game. My wife during the first half, she had to remind me we just came from church because I was using a lot of choice language during the first half.
I think you were alone.
Yeah.
I think Brian Johnson had the clipboard for a minute there, man. I was going back to having flashbacks. But, man, did you see the way Jordan Davis chased down Stafford horizontally across the line? That was amazing.
That was another huge play for them.
Yes, and I was telling you can see how in sync him and Jalen Carter were, because just before the second block punt, you see them both clicking. They're talking to each other. Like, they were so in tune. They were like, they knew the perfect trajectory of which way the ball was going to go. And it was, my wife thought I caught the Holy Spirit. I was jumping and screaming so much. She came out the room like something was wrong with me. It was amazing. Just like the miracle at the Meadowlands, something you don't expect. But in the back of your mind, I'm like, yeah, we got this. Jaylen proved he shut up all the naysayers. He's got an arm. Jaylen can pass. We got the weapons. You know, I think, like I said, maybe this is the butterfly that finally came out the cocoon, and we spread our wings, man. We're going up from this. It was an exciting game. It was a great game. The defense showed out. Thank God they removed Pryor after 2 series. And, oh my God, that was a disaster.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was tough to see in that. That was tough to watch him, but he gave us a nice little line there. The wings coming out.
Oh, yeah.
The butterfly emerging here.
From their cocoon.
Yeah.
From the offensive cocoon, the wings have spread. Is that really what we're? Yeah.
That's what we're working with here.
We can work
I'm
with
working with that.
I'll go with the butterfly.
I'll work with it. Hey,
Listen.
the Eagles spread their wings on that one. You know, finally.
I like that he thought Brian Johnson had the.
Dude, nobody has had a more difficult last 2 weeks than Brian Johnson. All right, Kevin Patullo's
straight.
Justifiably criticized. Brian Johnson's just sitting there
Hanging
doing his
out.
next job. Like, what they say?
I don't even work there anymore.
Yeah, it's.
Why are they talking about? Why is my name trending in Philadelphia?
You know the 50 Cent meme, like what'd he say, bleep me for?
Yeah.
That's exactly where Brian Johnson right now is. Like, why are they saying bleep me for? Like,
Not even there.
What's my problem here? Like,
I'm not even doing anything. I'm harmless now.
he's had the most difficult of the last 2 weeks of anyone because he's just being piled on when it's like, all right, I get it, but Patullo's the one that we should be upset with, at least when you get to this offense. But I'm hoping, like we opened the show with this, I'm hoping this is the springboard. I'm hoping that as we had to suffer through that first half to get the joy of, the second half, but also the joy of maybe this offense finally being as aggressive as it should be. And the players after the game were quick to point that out. A.J. Brown pointed that one out to you. They know what they're capable of. So now it's about actually going out there and finding it. Speaking of what they could be capable of, we talked a lot over the last couple of years of what Jordan Davis could be capable of, but needed to get in better shape. And after the game, Slim JD talking about getting slim.
Like I said previously, this is it's been in the making from like the beginning of last season, like the extra workouts, the Peloton, eating right, all this stuff. And I always say the quote, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like the work that was being put in last season, y'all couldn't see it then until about the end point. I think it was just perfect timing, and I never really tracked my progress of how I feel or anything. I just tracked my progress of results. I came in, I weighed in my weight range. I feel good in my body. OTAs, I was feeling great. Camp, feeling great. Getting more plays under my repertoire. So, and then just the coming from year 2 off of Vic's plan, his scheme, understanding his defense and what he wants and what he expects of his players. And I think all of that is just a combination of just keep chipping away at it. You just have to keep chipping away at it. Even when you feel like you're there, you have to keep going. And I think that's the point I'm at. It's just keep going, just keep going, just keep going.
The maturity of a guy that we all wanted to see grow into something for this team right there. Like, that was the biggest thing for me listening to Jordan Davis talk after that game.
Yeah.
The ability's always been there. Where he was drafted is where he was drafted. Fun comparison of a defensive lineman drafted ahead of a safety that we all probably wanted at the time. We could throw that comparison out there. People started throwing labels on Jordan Davis and what he was, and now he has this type of game. Maybe we could take some of those labels off.
Kind of dial it back just a little bit.
But that's this is the type of coming out party that you want for a guy that you've been waiting to take that next step. And this year you need to, given the changes you had up front defensively. You need him to take that next step forward. This type of game, obviously, 2 of those big plays are special teams plays. The run back there. I love that he was never going to stop, that he wanted to score that touchdown because he's
Absolutely.
I'm in this shape. You might as well use it.
Exactly. It's a rare time for me. It's fastest he said he'd run since his 40. I think it was faster than his 40, especially over a sustained amount of time.
You always run faster when there's people behind you.
Well, yes.
That's
you have
the
a
big
football
thing
in your
there.
hand, too, and you're doing something that big guys don't usually do, which is going to score a touchdown.
Nothing better than the big man touchdown.
But I liked what he said there about finally seeing the payoff. I think for him, he had been putting in this work well over a year. He talked about his diet last offseason, not just a year, not just a couple months ago, like a year and a couple of months ago. And the work that he's had to do, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's never had to worry about that because big guy means good things.
Yes.
Certainly at the college level, and I can't imagine what he must have been like in high school, like an absolute wrecking ball.
The poor kid that just got out of science class and then had to go
great,
practice
we're
against
playing
him.
them. That's awesome.
Even the guy, I always feel worse for the guy that had to practice
Great,
across from him.
I'm on Jordan Davis today.
Yeah.
But he finally got to see some of his hard work come to fruition, and I think that's what I heard a lot with that commentary. Like, that's just joy, relief, joy, and just finally I did it, and now you guys are seeing it.
There was something yesterday before the game on the pregame show where I was like, I really want to play this audio tomorrow and see how it ages. A certain wide receiver was on ESPN before the game, and I wanted to see how it would age.
Yeah.
And for a little while there, had us in the first half, not going to lie.
Not gonna lie.
Next gen stats tell me I should feel a lot better about the way things went defensively for that team. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. We'll explain coming up here on the Midday Show.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What a win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and it ended with a blocked field goal and touchdown return by Jordan Davis, but the Eagles came back from being down 19 points in the second half. A.J. Brown was one of those reasons as he got going in the second half. Brown spoke post-game on the offense early in the game and what made them successful in the second half.
We got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative, and I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing.
We'll see if the Eagles can continue to get A.J. Brown and the rest of their various stars on offense next week going against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup in Tampa Bay. Lane Johnson left yesterday's game early due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media around 3:15 today. The Phillies lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks. It is the first series loss since being swept by the Mets back in August. And the Phillies have the day off today before finishing the season at home. Next up is the Marlins in a 3-game series starting on Tuesday night. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And doing a little reconnaissance yesterday, someone that I trust a lot, knowing the inner workings of the Eagles, sort of maybe not took me to the woodshed, but just said to me, chill out.
I'm going to say now, 6:08 in the morning, they're going to have to play better offensively against the Rams.
Oh, yes, they are.
They have to. They can do it. We need to see it, and there's no more excuses.
Does the passing game have to evolve? Of course it does. But you're also going to get more from Saquon Barkley and that rushing offense. And the reason that I feel better is I know what the offense is capable of. Man, I didn't expect this from the defense.
You know how you could answer this question? Think about this. What was your biggest fear going in?
It was the defense. And that's why I feel better today, because I look at this defense with all of the new pieces. Like, you lost Josh Sweat. You lost Milton Williams. You lost Darius Slay and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You didn't have Nakobe Dean to start the season because he's on the PUP list. There were all these things. You lost Isaiah Rodgers, who was the first backup to Darius Slay. And even still, with all of that, you're looking at a defense that's top 10 in the NFL that shut down both the Cowboys and the Chiefs in the second half. They've given up a total of 7 second-half points. So the reason I feel better is I have confidence because I've seen it that these offensive weapons are going to deliver. And the defense is now showing you, hey, we haven't missed a beat.
They have to beat Josh Allen, and they got to beat, they got to go beat Joe Burrow in shootouts. Jaylen Herz can do that.
Yeah, they showed it last year.
He's shown that he can do it. If he wants to put 40 up on Patrick Mahomes, he can do it. Or if they want to win a tight game in a phone booth, they can do it. So it was sort of said to me yesterday, just pump the brakes a little bit. And also, I will leave you with this. Just wait till Sunday. I mean, wait and see what you see Sunday. So there's a belief that things are coming. Just chill. And so I'm going to take it like that. And doing a little reconnaissance yesterday, someone that I trust a lot, knowing the inner workings of the Eagles, sort of.
Stafford looking in zone. Davante Adams couldn't hang on. Blankenship the coverage.
Oh, what a timely clip right there from our guy Sean Rodman. Davante Adams couldn't come up with that one. Could come up with quite a few at the beginning. Puka Nacua also came up with pretty much everything in the game. But we'll get to that. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you to the midday show here on 97.5, The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And I said yesterday on the pregame show I wanted to replay some audio from Davante Adams today and see how it aged. And I would like to get to that coming up. But also something we talked about in the pregame show yesterday, because the news came down while we were on the pregame show about Bernie Perron. Who passed away at the age of 80 yesterday. The Flyers statement out on that. I know the Eagles did something very nice to honor him. Want to send our condolences to, obviously, our partners with the Flyers, all those that knew and loved Bernie. And he was a fixture at just so many.
Saw him at so many things. I literally just saw him at a charity event.
I was going to say, I literally,
a couple weeks ago.
when the news came down, I was like, I just saw him. He was tweeting about being out with John Hamm 2 days before. So
isn't that fitting, though? Like, that's, yes. Bernie Perron, John Hamm.
Yeah, that's a duo right there.
Yeah, I love it.
But just again, he was for a younger generation, just like almost the figure of when you think Flyers, that's the successful Flyers you think of. And for the older generation, he was the ultimate success story of that team. He was just what represented them winning and them being that premier organization in the National Hockey League.
And the way that he, I think, represented himself. That team, obviously the 74-75 back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. But even after that, just the way that he was truly an ambassador, not just for Philadelphia hockey, but for Philadelphia, period. He was really truly a sports ambassador. I remember he threw out one of the first pitches, the ceremony first pitch in the one of the games of the World Series in 2022, and everybody sees him. He is who he was. He's exactly how you wanted him to be, and that's not always the case. They say never meet your heroes, but he was a jovial, happy guy. He loved being part of Philadelphia. He loved being part of the Philadelphia sports scene. Huge Phillies fan, loved going to those games. Always supported all of the teams. If there was a charitable endeavor, whatever it was, and you asked Bernie Perron to be there, unless he had something else charitable on his calendar, he was absolutely going to show up.
Right. I just felt like anytime you went to an event, there's Bernie Perron. He's here, and he's working the room.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm just here because someone invited me here, and then I'm going to get out of here.
He walks around. He takes pictures with everybody. He did a lot of stuff with Ed Snyder Youth Hockey. I would see him at a lot of those events. Always so gracious with his time. Always had a smile on his face. To say he'll be missed, I thought Rick Tocchet really summed it up so well yesterday. And Toc got emotional about it because here's a guy when he was coming up as a Flyer, they revered. They know the Stanley Cup champs, and he had a little bit of regret, losing touch, and then being able to kind of reconnect recently. And I think that's one of those things. It'll be weird to not see him around.
Right.
I think that's what will hit a lot of people this year because he's such a fixture around here.
Yeah, we want to send our condolences over to everyone who knew, loved.
Family, friends, many people.
Yes, and obviously the Flyers organization. Tough news to be dealt on the Sunday morning about Bernie Perron. Leading into we were talking on the pregame show, and that happened right as we were having Tim McManus on the air, and it was one of those things where Tim stopped before he gave us any Eagles answers. He's like, "Oh, we broke the news to him," where he was like, "Oh, I want to just offer my condolences as well." And while we were on the pregame show on ESPN, where Tim McManus works, they had Devontae Adams during their NFL countdown. And they asked him about going against Quinyon Mitchell because that felt like the matchup we were going to get this week. Puka Nacua was going to be all over the field, and it was like, all right, Adams, Mitchell, what are you going to get?
Right.
And Devontae Adams said this about the matchup with the young corner.
I mean, really, it's not just him. They got a great defense all across the board. He's a great young player. I think he shows a lot of promise for the future. But I'm hoping I can show him a few things that he never seen, he never had to deal with before today. So it'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. He gave the correct, I wanted the Devontae Adams that popped up behind Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show, the really cocky, arrogant, back and forth answer there. I didn't really get it there. I was kind of annoyed because I was like, I really hope that this would age poorly. And it kind of.
I mean, at the end, scoreboard, but yes.
Well, and
he didn't have particularly.
Right.
I mean, Nacua caught everything that even remotely came his way. But Adams, we heard obviously the drop there, but his second half was a lot different than his first half.
So Quinyon Mitchell, this is next gen stats here. Shadowed Devontae Adams on 27 of 34 routes in week 3. That's a 74.9%. It was the first game of his career where he shadowed a receiver on over 60% of the routes, which is valuable information in terms of Vic Fangio game planning.
Because we were talking about, are you going to have him rove around?
And this time,
75% of the time,
they had him locked in.
He was locked on guy.
You will see one man.
Yes, and that is him.
Mitchell matched up against Adams 22 times after the snap, allowing just 2 receptions for 12 yards on 5 targets. Adams' only other reception came on a 44-yard touchdown against Reed Blankenship. So, the results were there for Quinyon Mitchell against Devontae Adams. There's other concerns in that secondary, but a beautiful thing to see. We're talking about young players on that defense stepping up. Quinyon Mitchell answered the bell in a way that he hadn't been utilized before.
And that was the thing, as you mentioned. What was his highest percentage before that? 60%?
He had not gone over 60% a game yet.
60%. So it was 75% basically this entire time. And I thought that was really important because it is a little insight into the thing we've learned about Vic Fangio is that he's going to adjust. He's going to change. He's going to put everybody in as good a position as he can, right?
Right.
He knows there's deficiencies. You listen to his press conference. He'll be speaking tomorrow. He will absolutely talk about it. He'll be asked about the other half of that cornerback tandem, what's going on with it. And he gives you the answer, which I appreciate. They're working with what they've got. But I feel like he's always done a really good job, going back to last year, of getting the most from his players and putting them in right positions. And this is an example of that. Here's a guy that is in his second year, and you're having him do something he's not done ever before, and he does it with that kind of success. It's hard to argue.
Yeah.
Not that you would ever argue against anything Vic Fangio does.
Or argue against Quinyon Mitchell at this point.
Yeah, Why would you? Why would you just keep my name out your mouth?
Yeah. Shutdown corner?
At this point, it's hard to say not. Because I know there was times at the beginning of this year you thought, is this going to be the sophomore slump? I have not seen it yet, but you wondered, maybe a little bit. Because last year, he became that corner that they stopped throwing to.
Right.
How's that not a shutdown corner? You're just not going to throw his way.
And they're not going to throw his way this year, which could lead to your fantasy teams maybe starting the second wide receiver on a lot of the opponents for the Eagles this year. I'm just saying, because we'll get to the Nacua thing at some point, The 3-0, I haven't mentioned it yet. I have not opened a segment yet with the whole 3-0 thing. They're 3-0, in case you forgot, Amy. In case you forgot at home. 3-0 Birds right now. Let's go back to the phone lines, talk to our buddy, the truck driver, Reggie. Reggie right now, and is it Illinois where I see he's at right now?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Where is he at? And also, call screener again, man. What are we doing here? Hey, Reggie, how are you?
Ray, Amy, good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. It's a 3-0 victory Monday.
Yes, go Birds. Rockford, Illinois, about 40 miles or so southwest of Chicago.
All right.
I am. About to make that delivery, yeah.
How'd you enjoy the game yesterday?
I saw the highlights, especially the big fella rumbling, rumbling and bumbling. Earlier when you said, Ray, well, maybe the Eagles will open up the offense for the entire game. And I said, I think I slightly disagree. I think the first 2 series of the next game, they could be a little bit more aggressive, hopefully score on one or both of those drives, and then it'll be a little easier to go back to the running game. So if they score first, that gives them a little bit more ease to get back into trying to get the running game established with Saquon Barkley. Because we're going to get our best.
The conversation there for me is, let's start aggressive. Let's be. You have the talent to be aggressive. If you want to end up, running a team at a time with Saquon Barkley in the second half, I'm not against that. I'm actually for that. Just start out aggressive so we have that conversation later.
Yes.
So that's all I'm trying to say. That's really all I'm trying to say with this. The second half to me has to be the springboard. Has to be the moment of.
Well, you want it to be the blueprint.
Yeah.
You want it to, instead of be a reaction, you want it to be the action.
Right.
So you want it to be, let's start with this instead of reacting to it. And I think that there is definitely, there's merit in that, because you don't want to have anything to cause you're not playing your game plan. Your game plan, you know what I mean? This was a reaction. Oh, you now had to change your game plan because you found yourselves down 19 points. 19 points in the second half.
I forget when it was, but Hertz said it after one of the first two games about being proactive, not reactive. There
you go.
This team is talented enough to impose its will. Impose your will.
Yeah, make them play your game. And I don't know that I think they're not going to be as aggressive as you saw, because there was a reason for that. You're down 19 points.
Yeah.
But there is somewhere you can find to kind of come out, put the defense on its heels, let them know that you have that in your bag and that you can use it, instead of they force you to use it. So it's okay, well, now everybody's seen it. You're not going to be fooling anybody. Why not just start with that? Just shove it down their throat.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It seems so easy, people. What are we doing?
Coming up, we'll reset where we started today. Interesting. Did you see pregame? Your buddy Derek Gunn, the report that came out?
Oh, yes.
What in the world? I want to just touch on that.
I had to think for a second. Yeah.
What in the world? How did that happen? We're going to get to that coming up. Also, if the Eagles win that type of game, can we, how do we see this team falling in a game? They're going to lose. That's the way of the league. But, it's one of those,
people should be up in their, whatever their win total was.
Yeah.
They should add one, I think, now.
They're already one ahead of my September total. Forget my season total.
Right.
They're already one ahead of my
2 and
September
2.
total.
Nah.
Not happening.
3-1.
Oh,
Maybe 4-0.
What a fun victory Monday. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade and Salciunas, 6 to 10 a.m.
I'm giving more credit to the architect. I'm giving more credit to Howie Roseman, because I firmly believe that in 2023, when you saw that defense really struggle at linebacker, in the secondary at safety, James Bradbury fell off a cliff, I don't think it would have mattered who the defensive coordinator was. I don't think it would have mattered if Vic Fangio was here. They tried Sean Desai. They tried Matt Patricia. They had a significant lack of personnel that I think contributed to that being one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Then they hire Vic Fangio, and Fangio comes in here, and before the season, he was asked, what makes your defenses so good? And his response, good players. And you just look at Howie Roseman's last few drafts of defensive players. This time, he gives them Jahad Campbell and Drew Makuba. Last year, he gives them Quinyon, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt. The year before, he gives them Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Morrow Ajomo in the 7th damn round. And the year before that, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. Not to mention the free agent signing of Zach Bond mixed in here. I'm giving him a majority of the credit. As good as Fangio is, and we love you, Vic, it's got to go to the architect.
I think that's cute on your part. That's really cute. Going right to the architect, your buddy, because he hangs out with you, with your uncle. I think that's really cute.
Wait. People used to say Sirianni was my cousin. Now he's my uncle.
He's your uncle.
Now he's my uncle. I think we're the same age.
Yeah, I was going to say they're about the same age. That don't make any sense.
Okay, brother. How's that? Is brother better?
Yeah, I'm actually Jay Sirianni.
I think the whole point is he's your interest. How's that?
Or
He's
you could
of
just
your
say
interest.
he is your family member.
Yes, family member. Good.
Interest sounds a little bit like romance related.
See, you love him. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Which is
make your
fine.
point. Make your
You go
point.
to Howie Roseman.
I
Okay,
think
fine.
He's hot. He's a good-looking guy.
Howie has drafted well. I don't take anything away from you. Let me bring up Zach Bond. Remember that guy came over? Outside linebacker, right? Am I right or wrong? Outside linebacker.
That one you got to give Fangio credit.
Outside linebacker who he made a standout star as a linebacker.
I'll give you that
inside
one.
linebacker, as a matter of fact. And who told us he was going to be inside? Vic Fangio did before even putting him on the field. Why? Because he looks at tape. He understands players. He knows where to put them. He knows where to put them in situations where they're going to do well. Oh, by the way, you drafted Cooper DeJean. You drafted Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to sit there and tell me when Howie drafted these guys that you said, those dudes are going to be starters this year. They're going to be unbelievable. They're going to be the best ever. Did you say that? Was that your thought process?
I was excited about him, but I did not expect him to acclimate this quickly.
So why?
Listen,
because it's
solid
on
coaching.
Howie. Because
Solid
Howie
coaching.
drafted them. They should be the best players in the world. Yes, it is solid coaching. As a matter of fact, Vic has a very good eye for his players. He understands where to put his players to make them the best at their possible positions. He understands how to get the most out of each and every one of his players. And you know what? He's not afraid of these players, which makes them respect him. It's Vic Fangio. It's his defense. It's the way he sorts these guys and puts them where they need to be.
Welcome back into the midday show. 3-0, Amy Fadul. They are 3-0. I don't know how, but they are. Come from behind victory over the Rams. Like, I keep saying it, and I'm going to drive this point home, I think, all season. If I was a fan of any other football team, I would hate this team. I would despise the Eagles with everything in me if I was a fan of any other team. They have become that team in the NFL. You watch them on Sunday, and you're like, oh, awesome.
Oh,
like, at halftime,
they deserve
people across the country are like, this is great. I knew they were frauds. They couldn't keep this up. That coach isn't that good of a coach. That quarterback's not that good of a quarterback. They're not going to be able to find a way to win. And it's like red zone pops back to them in the fourth quarter. Wait.
Whoa, I thought they were
happen?
done.
I thought this was over.
They were losing.
No
How did
way.
they come back? They pull up their phones frantically.
You're watching it. You're like, that's a penalty on them. That's a penalty on them. You're going through the tush push from early in the game. You're like, that's a false start.
That's a false
Look
start.
at it.
Yeah,
Look
people
at
are
it.
Zapruder filming that. You see it. Stop it. Stop.
And yet, just keep winning. Oh, all they do is win.
DJ Khaled loves that.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. I don't feel for the rest of the country because, I heard enough. Like I'm young. I know. Breaking news. I'm young, but I heard enough no rings jokes from people that I grew up around that were not Eagles fans that I will never feel bad for someone that hates my team for winning. Like that's kind of on you.
And that's the thing. It's like they just want to hate on it, the whole product, whether it's the coach, whether it's the tush push, the plays, whether it's the quarterback, whatever it is, they're going to find a reason. And it goes back to your point about the Eagles are that team because when it was the Patriots, Tom Brady's face made me hate them. Everything that they did was loathsome. Their whole idea.
I can absolutely see. I have not gone through the comments of the NFL post of Hertz walking off the field, but there's someone that's commenting, "Oh, it's just horrifying. The guy's not even. He doesn't really believe that. Like this guy is I can't wait. Maybe I'll go read it just for my own entertainment." But something that I read yesterday, speaking of entertainment, and not necessarily entertainment, but entertainment in the sense that this is a story, that this happened. I can't believe this happened.
I forgot about that.
Derek Gunn reporting before the game that Big Dom was fined $75,000 for texting during the Jets preseason game.
That is a large sum of money. So players and coaches are not allowed to send messages.
Right. And he's technically got the coach title.
Well,
now.
that's why they gave him the coach title because of needing him on the sidelines.
Yes.
Because there was obviously the incident from
2023
ago, and he couldn't be on the sidelines and whatever else. So they circumvented that, and he has the coach rank now. So I more importantly want to know who he was texting.
Right. That's the other thing. But if you're going to be head of security,
if Dom's like, texting somebody, something's going down, maybe.
right? That's what I'm saying, though. Head of security can't send a message.
You should be able to.
But
trying to prevent
head of
whatever it
security can be banned from the sideline. Coach can't. Like we need the big Dom rule. I think, where we need to find the middle ground.
That you can't have. I mean, those coaches. It's a melee sometimes out there. Why not? Why can't you have a guy help you through the crowd?
Yeah, I
thought that was nonsense.
It's just very confusing.
$75,000.
Which
I think and then Derek said that they have tried to appeal it, but it was denied.
Yes, which is
because
just,
as a security person, maybe it was something pressing.
Right. There's a legitimate appeal to be had there.
Yes.
It's just wild that we're talking about a world in which Big Dom's being fined by the NFL for texting on the. It's a Mad Libs of a sentence.
If anywhere else, that sentence makes no sense.
Correct.
But here in Philadelphia, we're like, well, that's what he does. This Big Dom, he's on the sideline.
So what we're telling you is this is actually an advertisement for the Italian socks. Go buy them. Go make sure that you support Big Dom through this tough time.
That's right. $75,000. That's not chump change.
Well, that was the other thing. If you can get fined for $75,000, I was like, you know what? Bad for Big Dom in the sense that you lost $75,000. Good for Big Dom in the sense of they feel like you have $75,000 to lose.
I don't know that they know that. Maybe the Eagles pay it for him.
That would be the right thing to do.
If it was something that they needed, right? If it was like a security issue, and Big Dom's been around the team a long time. I don't think he was texting like, "Hey, how's it going?" type.
Yeah.
I'm on the sideline with a selfie. None of that's happening.
You see me on the sideline? It's like, no, just turn on the TV. You see him every day.
So I would imagine the text message had some importance, and so if I was the team and it was something related to the team, I think all right, we'll take that one.
I think they should pay.
Or maybe we splitsies.
No, I think they should pay it.
Oh yeah.
I think they should.
Especially if it's something regarding the team, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they should pay it.
We should figure that out.
Yeah. There has to be.
We'll get Derek on it.
We got like 1,000 beat reporters on that team.
Someone's got to figure out what was going on.
They're 3-0. Who cares about a Bucks rematch? Who cares about the most improbable comeback?
No, I mean it was that was kind of a weird little thing. I saw it when Derek tweeted. I was like, what am I looking at?
Who are we kidding ourselves? We don't need a reporter to go find it. We got Billy C.
Oh, Colarulo.
Come on, place a call. Hey, remember when I worked for you? You know?
What was going on with that?
You got any info for me?
It wasn't a selfie on the sideline.
No, it wasn't. It was taking care of business. Speaking of taking care of business, this Eagles team, the passing game, the second half, finally did it. Let's go to Germantown, talk with Silver. Silver, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yeah, what's up, man?
How are you?
Oh, no, like I said, we're going to get straight to that passing game in the second half, not the first half. Patula wasn't calling the plays. Yeah, he wasn't. Patula, he's not the play caller no more. Whoever was the play caller in the second half, that's who needs to be the play caller for the rest of the season, okay?
Are we just saying that we're just assuming Jaylen Herz was calling the plays in the second half?
Yeah, or Nick Sirianni?
I hope it was Jaylen because that's the Jaylen that y'all want. So he'll give you what you want. If you want Jaylen he'll give you what you're asking for. Like, there's nothing else you could say about this man. All the slander and disrespect. It's like you said, only thing you could do now at this point is hate and envy. That's the only thing you could do at this point.
Pretty much. I mean, what you saw in that second half, like he's a part of the problem from the first couple games where I don't think he was pushing the ball down the field. But now they opened it up, and it's hard to look at that interaction between he and Patullo as anything other than, man, we need to do something different.
Listen, whatever you're doing, it ain't working. So let's try something. Yeah, it's absolutely a call on the carpet. He's calling him out.
Like.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, so let Jaylen, if that was Jaylen being the play caller, let him call the plays. He know his team. He been with them since he's came in the league. Everybody's been around each other. They're his best friends. They played in college together with Devontae Smith. So let them play together as a team and let him lead that team. Because you've seen his reaction after that kick was blocked. He the only one that had his arms crossed and wasn't no reaction. It was just like, okay, ice cold, let's get it done. There's no reaction. The coach was even jumping around and all that.
Yeah,
He's more serious than the coach.
The dichotomy there is hilarious
so great.
between the two of them.
Just watching the two of them, it's so perfectly kind of summarizes the two of them.
It encapsulates
One's just like,
exactly the whole thing.
All right. The other one is like, let's go.
I I was like watching it. I didn't see it live, so obviously I watched it more. Like I didn't see that interaction happen live because I was having my own personal reaction to what was happening. Watching it back, if I had seen it live, I would have been concerned about Sirianni being knocked over by Hertz because like Sirianni goes airborne and like Hertz is no small individual.
No,
like
just like walk, and he's got obviously all of his gear on.
Right.
Too. Yeah.
Could have flattened Sirianni there.
Could have gone wrong. But
that was for the 2023 offense. No, I'm just kidding. But
that's for the first half of the
to
season.
that play calling conversation here, I'm hoping that it's not so much that now it's someone's taking over, that Patullo realizes, hey, what we did in that second half, not a bad thought.
Yeah, I still think it's Patullo calling it. I don't think there's like some like big mastermind of like, all right, well now you no longer have the job here.
Right. It's like maybe
But that version of Patullo is what we need.
Right. Maybe Patullo, now you see that you don't have to be so conservative with it. And also, Jaylen, you realize that you don't have to be so conservative in pushing the ball down the field. We got the weapons here.
Exactly.
We can win a lot of different ways. Let's just win in the one where we dominate teams. Hey?
And use the weapons that you have.
Coming up at 11:30, speaking of other teams, besides the Birds, 5 games that stuck out to me over the weekend. A lot of special teams plays.
Besides the Birds, yeah. If you enjoyed block kicks, we got you.
We got a weekend for you. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What a win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and this is Updates brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repairs since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Eagles came from behind, being down 19 points in that second half, and only had 34 total yards at halftime. Jaylen Herz had 204 yards through the air in the second half. Herz spoke postgame on the beautifully ugly win.
We've been talking about taking pride in winning. We take pride in this game, as ugly as it was, and as beautiful as it ended. You know, that's the agony and ecstasy of the game of football.
We'll see if it can be a little less ugly next week against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup on the road, this time in Tampa Bay. Lane Johnson left yesterday's game early due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media around 3:15. The Phillies lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks. It's the first series loss since being swept by the Mets back in August. And the Phillies have the day off today before finishing the season at home. Next up is the Marlins in a 3-game set starting on Tuesday night. This update is also brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And let's go there with the passing offense, because it was a lot of our conversation yesterday with, hey, fantastic to get that win in Kansas City. A really good job of going on the road against the reigning AFC champs where they were in a desperate spot. Great job getting that win. But that passing offense right now, not where you would, I guess, expect a team with the talent they have to be. What are you seeing right now in this passing offense that needs to be corrected most?
Yeah, I mean, corrected is a tough word. Let's first go to the root of what I hear a lot of people saying, and I just myself don't believe it to be true, and that's just not my opinion. I've watched the tape. I've been fortunate to watch tape with some really smart people, former football players, former Eagles who've helped school me on things to look for and concepts. Greg Cosell is a part of our Inside the Birds family, and he's one of the top tape breakdown guys in all of the land, right? And the first thing you're looking for with new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo is he doing something different? Is he trying to add something to this offense that it's not catered to do? Is he not suiting it to the strengths of his personnel? And I can definitively tell you that the offense conceptually is built and looks and is designed the same way it's been for the last few years. So the idea that it's Kevin Patullo's fault and he's doing something that the other guys weren't doing is completely false. Now, I'm not saying he's flawless, and obviously he's 2 games into the first time as a coordinator, and so there's a feel for a game. There's an understanding of when to call certain plays at the right time, and that's something that is developed along the way. And clearly, Kellen Moore came with that already, whereas Kevin Patullo didn't have it. Brian Johnson 2 years ago didn't have it at the NFL level. So I understand sort of people saying, oh man, this reminds me of 2 years ago. But the difference is they have Saquon here, and conceptually they are keeping things the same. So when Kevin Patullo is calling a certain play from his menu, that menu isn't all that different from the menu of last year and the year before, because the Eagles understand this better than anyone because it's their building and their players. They understand what their offense should look like, how it should run, what is the best way to run it. You know, they're not like a team that runs like 1,000 different route concepts and route designs. They do what they do really well. They run the ball typically, and then they try to get the shot play that Jaylen Herz likes so much. And so when you ask what's corrected, Ray, you know, he took about 4 or 5 deep shots in the game against the Chiefs, but only one of them connected. Obviously, it was the most important one to Devontae Smith, but he missed Devontae earlier in the game on a similar one. He missed A.J. Brown on one that kind of like, I think he got hit or there was so much traffic in his face. You might remember it was pretty early. It floated. A.J. actually caught it out of bounds and got hit, and everybody thought it was a late hit. There were about 4 or 5 plays that you typically see him and Brown and Devontae connect on that in the first 2 weeks just haven't been there.
And let's go there with the passing offense, because it was a lot of our conversation yesterday with, hey, fantastic to get that win in Kansas City. A really good job of going on the road against the reigning AFC champs where they were in a desperate spot. Great job getting that win. But that passing offense right now, not where you would, I guess, expect a team with the talent they have to be. What are you seeing right now in this 97.5? The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn talking about your 3-0.
Undefeated.
Unbeaten Philadelphia Eagles. It does have that feeling of like how do you lose a game? If you win that game, how do you lose a game?
Well, they've won games like the Chiefs game. I think we talked about. Oh, I don't know. Like that was a win that didn't feel great. You have to feel great after this one. I don't care about the first half. I don't. Stop talking about it as far as a negative. I hear you, but I'm going to focus on the positive, and that's the second half. And hope, like you're suggesting, they do take a page from that and lean more into the aggressive play.
And that's why people love you.
That's a heck of a win.
Your positive outlook.
Heck of a win.
The glass half full.
Yeah. That glass is half full, and it was drank by
Yeah.
Jordan Davis.
Oh.
He devoured it.
Just water.
Of course.
Keep himself hydrated and in good shape.
Doesn't do any of the mango juice anymore.
Was that it? Mango juice was got?
No, he was drinking like other stuff, and then he switched to mango juice.
I was going to say, because I remember.
think he's like stopped all of that.
I think part of the reason why I'm a big fan of a good mango.
Yeah.
I'm pro mango at all times.
I think he just limits his sugar, he said.
Yeah. Like the no free promos here, but vitamin water, the tropical mango or whatever it is that is like that one, that's the go-to. That's become my new electrolyte drink.
Okay.
Because I'm so pro mango.
Interesting. So pro mango.
I'm very pro mango. With the old smoothie truck down there, you know what I'm talking about, Sean
Mango.
Robin. The smoothie truck
I
down
do.
there in front of the Student Center at Temple. I was always in for a good mango
Mango
smoothie.
water ice for you?
Absolutely.
I'm a mango water ice guy, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's an elite water ice flavor.
Mango gelati for me, if we're talking Rita's. The with the little vanilla ice cream, that's an elite.
Can't go wrong.
That's an elite item. Wow. Very pro mango. That might actually be. I'm
That
trying to
might-
figure out where the Jordan Davis affection came from.
It might have been the mango.
It might have been the interview where he's talking about his love
He
for
did.
mangoes.
He talked about that.
He did, and it's
The mango juice.
him slimming down has been a huge thing for this defense. Obviously, a huge thing for yesterday. But the caller would point out him running down Matt Stafford. I had the disgusted reaction of Stafford getting out of the pocket, being like, "Oh my gosh, this 75-year-old man is about to run for a first down."
He's got to be sore today.
Oh yeah. And then
He
Jordan
was sore
Davis was there to
during the
get him.
game. Yeah, and imagine Jordan Davis catching you
Well, that's the thing.
and landing on you.
Yeah. And a little bit slimmer nowadays.
He's
a little
still
slimmer
slim.
nowadays.
Still not like
Slim JD. Yeah, no, it definitely did not feel good. And you could see Stafford just going through the I'm an older
Like,
quarterback
let's
motion
stretch
during
that
the game.
back out
Yeah.
a little bit.
But
It's
the
just-
Jordan Davis game,
it's
the Fred
great for him.
Johnson game, and also the game
The
that,
offense is actually functioning game.
yeah, the game that made us feel maybe we were on something last week about being invincible. Teams that are not invincible. Well, there's a lot of them around the NFL.
Yes, there are.
And that brings us to 11:30 on a Monday, besides the Birds. Let's start out in Minnesota. Vikings, Bengals, battle of the backup quarterbacks. Browning is what it looked like he did to his pants against that Vikings defense. Our old buddy Carson Wentz getting the start for the Vikings, but he wasn't the former Eagle who had the biggest impact on that game. You wouldn't have bet that it was Isaiah Rodgers who would have the biggest impact on the game, and hopefully Isaiah Rodgers didn't bet it either. Here he is, 87-yard interception return for a touchdown, and the Vikings 48-10 win.
It's a 2nd and 9. And Browning scanning, throwing, picked off, intercepted by Isaiah Rodgers, and he's racing down the sideline, and he will not be caught going the distance.
What a game for Isaiah Rodgers and for the
It was unbelievable.
Vikings. They did not miss J.J. McCarthy, but mostly because of that defense. I'll give Carson his credit maybe another
Isaiah
week.
Rodgers. I mean, like his name was, you said his name more than you said Carson Wentz.
I know. Big game for him. 2 touchdowns. How about that?
Good for
Also,
him.
T.J. Hawkinson over in receptions hit. Someone tried to tell you about that on Friday. Elsewhere in the NFC North, no pack, no. It was a bad Sunday for Love, and it's not
Unreal.
just because a woman unmatched with me on Hinge. The Packers led the Browns 10-0 in the fourth. The Browns field goal. Jordan Love, what are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me? A critical fourth quarter interception and then a Browns touchdown tied it at 10. Brandon McManus lined up for the go-ahead field goal late and had it swatted right back to him like a fake ID at Maxie's on a Friday night down there at Temple. Jersey man Joe Flacco leading the game-winning drive, and a kicker that I'll be honest with you, I've seen him on my television. I'm still not familiar with your game here. Has the game winner for Cleveland.
Good snap. Good hold. The kick is on the way. The kick is good. The kick is good. And Andre Schmidt from 55.
Who? Yeah. I had.
You lost Love
Yeah.
in more ways than one.
Very difficult Sunday
So
for
sorry,
Love.
buddy.
Block kicks everywhere across the NFL on Sunday. Wasn't just the Birds, wasn't just the Pack. Even in Tampa Bay, the Bucs looking to open up a 9-point lead late over the Jets. A big mistake for them. Old Will McDonald didn't give a darn. That field goal is going to be blocked.
It's blocked. Field goal attempt is blocked. Scooped up and will be taken all the way for a Jets touchdown. Will McDonald returns it into the end zone.
Oh, the Jets were so close to having something nice. But Baker, I hardly know her. Mayfield leads the game-winning drive, and Chase McLaughlin leads to the victory.
From 36, this is for the win. McLaughlin's kick is right down the middle.
Big day for special teams fans.
Big day.
All 3 phases of the game matter. Don't you forget it, because we got another game-winning field goal for you. Out west, Kyler Murray trying to stack wins before November 14th Call of Duty release. Jonathan Gannon's defense had a lead. Just need to hold one more time. And it was Big Mac and Run CMC uniting to run the seed and put another kicker in position for a game-winning kick. Eddie, don't call me Pinhead Panero with the illustrious list of kickers to win a game this weekend.
Trying to do what he's done a half dozen times before and win the game with his leg. Sweeps it, delivers it, and San Francisco is in first place. They win it at the horn.
And finally, the last game for you of the weekend that we stuck out to us. How about them Cowboys?
Oh, my gosh.
How about them Cowboys?
Unreal.
Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson finally commit expectations. Preaching to Chicago, Rome wasn't built in a day. This defense for the Cowboys is going to be a burden all year long, and there's only one more Chicago receiver punt to include to get all 4 touchdown scores for Caleb Williams. It's easy pickings for Chicago in a 31-14 rout in the Windy City. Here is one of 2 Dak Prescott fourth quarter interceptions.
4-man rush.
Prescott looking around, throws. Pickens just dropped it, and it's picked off. Tremaine Edmonds in the right place at the right time, and he's got it for the Bears.
31-14. The Bears blow out the Cowboys. The Cowboys 1-2. In a weekend where we did not mention the other two NFC East teams, the Giants unsurprisingly lose to the Chiefs in a game that I actually stayed up and watched after saying I had no interest in.
It was an entertaining game to a certain degree.
Yeah, sure. If you like whatever it is Russell Wilson was trying to do at the goal line.
I don't. I mean, stop. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
I just was going to see how Patrick Mahomes was going to make it happen. That's what I needed to see.
Marcus Mariota was cut for time on this one, but shout out to the Commanders just picking apart the Raiders. And,
that was a fun one, too.
They moved to 2-1 without Jaden Daniels. But there is your Besides the Birds for the weekend. That is my official statement on Jordan Love. Brutal for the Pack. Which brings us to the conversation of after 3 weeks, the Rams may be the team now closest to the Eagles in terms of NFC supremacy. It was the Packers after 2 weeks, and then the Packers.
Not what you saw yesterday.
Some moron on that team said they were going to run the table. I don't know who it was. I'm really hoping it wasn't my guy, Jordan Love. I don't think it
that would surprise me.
Doesn't sound like my guy. Who was it?
It was an offensive lineman. I have to double check who it was.
There you go. It's someone that needs headlines. Makes sense. Jordan Love doesn't need headlines. He just makes them. And he made them for all the wrong reasons yesterday. That was brutal. A lot of people being eliminated in their survivor pool.
That one. It took a lot of hits.
I was in. I'm going to air out their business. I was in the living room of a couple that I'm friends with that she took the Packers after being advised by her fiance not to take the Vikings. A very heated, contentious living room as the Packers lost that game. She was not too happy.
Yeah, because she didn't want to take it.
Right. He said don't take the Vikings. She went and took the Packers.
Right, because that would be the other option.
They were trying to break up the blame between the two of them of who was at fault for her being out of the survivor pool. I would say both of them were at fault.
Right, because she didn't have to choose the Packers. But he would be at fault because he told her not to pick the one that she wanted. And she would have been safe.
I think it's a 50-50 split. There. Yeah, you have to find a better game, but he's also at fault. I was also trying to play peacemaker in that room. I was also trying to stay silent as the Packers started to lose that game because I was like, ooh, this is tough for my Jordan Love thing, but this is a lot worse for that couple in this room. Love you too. Sorry. Thanks for having me over yesterday.
Thanks for the food.
Yeah. I took care of some of the food there.
All right.
So. They took care of the NFL Sunday ticket, though. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through the midday show. Coming up, what survived another week in the NFL? The tush push. We're going to talk about all week long this week? Probably not. We'll get to that coming up here on The Fanatic.
Attention, Delaware Valley, 97.5.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 36 that gave the Eagles a field goal, a gimme field goal in the third quarter. The game was lost when Harrison Butker missed a field goal that would have been a 3-point. So that's when the game was lost.
Okay, so John, why the sensitivity then?
Because you just said it was a fact that the Eagles lost. You said the game was won on Get Up. You said the game was won because of the tush push. That was not fact, and you just said it was fact again. It wasn't won because of the tush push.
It was one of the factors involved in that game.
You didn't say
not
that.
Stop that play. Oh, okay. Well, you know what, John? I'm not going to go into Get Up when I got 20 seconds. Well, they did this and they did that and they did this.
Well, weren't they bigger? Okay, were they bigger factors or were they less factors? Because I think Travis Kelce and that interception was a bigger factor in the Chiefs losing than the tush push. Andy Reid twice going out of character was a bigger decision. Butker missing a field goal was a bigger than the tush push, which accounted for 5 yards in the game.
John, fine. What does that have to do with my opinion on the tush push? Again, people are mistaken. So I'm not giving the Eagles flowers for making other plays? Okay, good. They did make those plays. Again, bravo. Excellent. They won the game. Great job. Okay, but people feel cheated that I didn't salute them for stopping them on 4th and 1 or coming up with a big pick. I'm just talking about the tush push and the ire it's raised across the league and across the country. People all worked up. I've never been one that's been worked up about it or against the play.
We absolutely have backed you on that. Andrew and I backed you on that completely.
The reason that I'm so presumptuous that Patullo will figure it out is I get that he's never called plays before. That's why I'm willing to give him some time to figure that part of it out. But this was the guy who was the passing game coordinator over the last few seasons where you just saw them win a Super Bowl. You saw them go to a Super Bowl. He was the pass game coordinator. So I know there's been a lot of chatter, and we even played the Dan Orlovsky clip yesterday of talking about how predictable the passing game was with routes to A.J. Brown running the same route over and over and over again. Patullo was the pass game coordinator. So are we really just thinking to ourselves that, well, even though he was the pass game coordinator, he probably didn't do anything. It was all Kellen Moore. Even though he was the pass game coordinator, probably didn't do anything. It was all Shane Steichen. He was a part of those passing offenses, so I do think he's going to figure it out. I think that he has also earned the benefit of the doubt. Like I said yesterday, this team has earned our patience. I think the fact that Patullo has been your passing game coordinator with a team that's been extremely successful, he has earned our patience as well.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce.
Welcome back in. Midday show here, working our way through the 11 o'clock hour alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Sean Rodman producing the program here. We're going to go to the text line in a second. You get your reaction to the big come from behind victory at 610-632-0975. And I was just scrolling the old Bird app in the break there, Amy Fadul, and I saw on Sportsmanlike Radio on ESPN, their morning show there, tweet out this morning, finish this sentence. Jaylen Herz is, and it's fun to scroll the comments.
I'm sure.
Because we've got some people that are doing he's making a claim to be the best quarterback in football. Haters would want to ban the field goal block because the Eagles do it so well. Hertz is an overrated tush pusher. Fortunate to be on that team. I like this one. Living rent-free in the head of nitwits, scouts, NFL personnel staff, and physical talent truthers who couldn't and still can't wrap their heads around intangible talent because they can't see it and measure it. I'm enjoying reading that.
Yes.
This Jaylen Herz is fill in the blank. But the overrated tush pusher is funny because the tush push was a big talking point of conversation last week.
Yes, of course. And then, of course, they tried it out yesterday, and I just thought, here it comes.
Yeah. And I heard Andrew saying this morning, that the Chargers ran it, and there was no mention of the two words tush push nor complaining. And I was watching that broadcast as it happened, and that is true. That is true. There was no mention of it. Good for them. Maybe what they've realized is now giving Herbert a good running game. The next step to becoming that elite quarterback is giving him a tush push.
Yes.
So the Chargers, I think that's a really good next step forward for Justin Herbert. You give him a tush push and a running game, and now all of a sudden he's going to be elite. There you go. They've taken the Hertz formula and they've handed it to Mr. Hypothetical. I'm happy that Hypothetical Herbert is now getting the Hertz model of things to get him going out there in
Justin Herbert
LA.
will never be Jaylen Hertz.
All right, well, now you're opening up the phone lines here. We're gonna. I can already feel the energy that's coming from our YouTube chat now that we've opened up that can.
He's
I'm
not
excited for that.
going to be Jaylen Hertz.
But for the conversation about the tush push, thought they were going to officiate very closely and we would be in trouble. As it turns out, officiated pretty much the same way, and people are going to complain about it all week. But hey, good for them. They're able to keep running it. It all works itself out. Nice to celebrate it. Nice that it was around. It was just nice not to see it as much this week.
They didn't need it as much.
That's when you open things up in the second half and you start, making chunk plays. You don't necessarily
need these
it as
fourth
much.
and ones.
Yeah, so that was nice to see. Let's go to the text line. See how people reacted to this one at 610-632-0975.
Ben from Bucks County checking in saying, I told you guys before the season, there's only 3 teams that I believe can represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Number 1 is the Eagles. Number 2 is the Rams. And number 3 is the Buccaneers. No other team is capable of taking it to the Super Bowl. And the reason I say that is because Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, and Jaylen Herz are the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFC.
Okay. What does that say about the NFC? I don't know. Baker... So I know I've seen the discourse today on our YouTube chat about like what credit you give somebody that got your team in a situation and got your team out of the situation. To me, that's Baker Mayfield's entire like NFL career. Like I feel like he does a really good job at the end of a game getting himself out of a situation that he put his team in. But the NFC, looking at the quarterback play across the NFC, Goff. Okay. Well, like tonight is a very good
Goff
good barometer for where he's at.
Goff last
where
week,
they're at.
Brilliant.
Right. Goff the week before lost.
Exactly.
So,
that is Jared Goff in a nutshell.
Yeah. I've never been a big Goff believer. But Baker, I don't know if it's that simple for me that the Baker, Stafford, Hurts are the 3 reasons why there are 3 teams. I think the Rams, Bucks, and Eagles are – I can't take the Packers off the mantle just because of one bad week. I do truthfully believe that they're going to be there towards the end of this season. And I know for people, it's because you like Jordan Love.
Well, you do like Jordan.
I do. But I said one thing I said, and you could quote me on this. I said it Friday, and I've said it a million times, Sean Rodman. You know what I'm about to say. As much as I like the guy, his consistency is the biggest problem with them. And what does he do? After giving me 2 weeks of nothing but, wow, I can evaluate talent. It's like, wow. I could also evaluate where his shortcoming is because he wasn't consistent in that game.
I don't know if I remember you saying that at all.
All right, maybe I said it with Austin. I said it last week at least twice.
I remember you hearing say it. I was going to say messing with you.
I was going to go fight him.
I could tell you were like, I said it. I was like, I think he was messing with you.
He was. But
I think Jordan Love is in that conversation as far as the top. I just think when you look at the NFC quarterbacks compared to the AFC quarterbacks, the names don't pop out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Not the way that the AFC
they don't pop
Mahomes,
out.
Allen,
No.
LeVar.
Not in slaves, but
Lamar.
Yeah. LeVar. I don't know who you think of LeVar.
I don't know who Lamar Jackson.
Tune in tonight. Monday Night Football, ESPN. LeVar Jackson takes on James Goff.
LeVar Jackson, LeVar Ball.
I was like, what's happening right now? As soon as I said it, I was like,
what else we got on the text line?
Yeah, we had no name from this texter, but they're saying happy to celebrate, but can't ignore the first half. What do we feel actually happened in the second half? Did someone else take over the play calling?
No, I think they were put in a situation where they needed to be more aggressive. And it was like, it could go one of 2 ways. You could open it up, get aggressive, and it could get worse, where you start turning the ball over. And
then it's like, well, you're already down, so what's the difference?
All right, the stands will empty out.
You go down swinging.
You guys were going to get ripped on radio regardless for the first half. The only way you wouldn't is if you come back and win the game. And the only way you come back and win the game is by getting aggressive. And they had to. It was out of necessity. Now, the problem is, I don't want it to be out of necessity.
Right.
I don't want to get down by 19 points and then be like, all right. Also, I don't want to see anyone without the last name Johnson playing right tackle for this team.
He said it was just a stinger.
Yeah, that's fine. Lane's back next week. That's good. If he's not back next week, Fred Johnson.
Fred Johnson game.
Fred Johnson, the greatest backup offensive lineman in NFL history. Fred Johnson's the Tom Brady of backup right tackles.
Wow. Well, honestly,
okay, Fred Johnson is the Nick Foles of
still, that's
right
high
tackles.
praise. That's high praise. It's just you couldn't. The Matt Pryor snaps were just so bad.
Yeah,
he was so lost out there.
Again, seeing Hurts get rocked is a jarring experience because you just don't see it.
You don't see it. But I think that this offense. I don't know if people are going to think it was a different play caller. I don't know that it was completely different. I think obviously the conversation that Jaylen Herz and Kevin Patullo had on the sideline, I'll call it a conversation, chit chat. You have to look inside. You have to look and say, all right, well, it's not working. It's been 10 quarters now. It ain't work.
And for everyone that wants to pin everything on Kevin Patullo, there also is a part of this where Hertz has to feel like he needs to air it out. And to Hertz, it's like, Hey, man, we talked about the newfound confidence you have.
Yeah.
I believe you have it.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
Let's start throwing it down the field.
Let's harness it.
You threw some balls that were, there to be play that was there to be made. Guess who's going to make that play? AJ, Devontae. You got those guys. Use them.
That's literally what we talked about. The 50-50 balls, they're going to go their way.
Tulo is one in terms of that. But there is, to say there's 0% on Hertz.
Oh, yeah.
For the way the first 10 quarters went would be ignoring it. And to say that it's all Hertz and there was nothing for Patullo in the second half, again, is kind of ignoring just the way this whole thing works. There was a conversation had. I don't know who had. Well, we think Hertz had it with Patullo.
Well, we saw there was at least one conversation.
Right.
had.
I would imagine there was a lot had. Hey, 3-0. It's a beautiful thing.
Sweet. 3 weeks.
3-0. I want to play one more time coming up that Hertz conversation, the Hertz audio about it only matters to you guys how we win, because I think it's a nice talking point for us. And coming up at noon, the NFL Notes at noon with Sean Rodman alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What a win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and it ended with a blocked field goal and touchdown return by Jordan Davis. The Eagles came back from being down 19 points in the second half. A.J. Brown was able to get going in the second half. Brown spoke postgame on the offense early in the game and what made them successful late in the game.
We got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative. And I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing.
We'll see if the Eagles can continue to get A.J. Brown and their other various stars on offense next week, going as well against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup in Tampa Bay this time. Lane Johnson left yesterday's game due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger, according to him. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media around 3:15 today. And the Phillies lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks. It's the first series loss since being swept by the Mets back in August. Phillies have the day off today before finishing the season at home at Citizens Bank Park. Next up is the Marlins in a 3-game set starting on Tuesday night. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And let's go there with the passing offense, because it was a lot of our conversation yesterday with, hey, fantastic to get that win in Kansas City. A really good job of going on the road against the reigning AFC champs where they were in a desperate spot. Great job getting that win. But that passing offense right now, not where you would, I guess, expect a team with the talent they have to be. What are you seeing right now in this passing offense that needs to be corrected most?
Yeah, corrected is a tough word. Let's first go to the root of what I hear a lot of people saying, and I just myself don't believe it to be true, and that's just not my opinion. I've watched the tape. I've been fortunate to watch tape with some really smart people, former football players, former Eagles who have helped school me on things to look for and concepts. Greg Cosell is a part of our Inside the Birds family, and he's one of the top tape breakdown guys in all of the land, right? And the first thing you're looking for with new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo is he doing something different? Is he trying to add something to this offense that it's not catered to do? Is he not suiting it to the strengths of his personnel? And I can definitively tell you that the offense conceptually is built and looks and is designed the same way it's been for the last few years. So the idea that it's Kevin Patullo's fault and he's doing something that the other guys weren't doing is completely false. Now, I'm not saying he's flawless, and obviously he's 2 games into the first time as a coordinator, and so there's a feel for a game. There's an understanding of when to call certain plays at the right time, and that's something that is developed along the way. And clearly, Kellen Moore came with that already, whereas Kevin Patullo didn't have it. Brian Johnson 2 years ago didn't have it at the NFL level. So I understand sort of people saying, oh man, this reminds me of 2 years ago. But the difference is they have Saquon here, and conceptually they're keeping things the same. So when Kevin Patullo is calling a certain play from his menu, that menu isn't all that different from the menu of last year and the year before, because the Eagles understand this better than anyone because it's their building and their players. They understand what their offense should look like, how it should run, what is the best way to run it. You know, they're not like a team that runs like 1,000 different route concepts and route designs. They do what they do really well. They run the ball typically, and then they try to get the shot play that Jaylen Herz likes so much. And so when you ask what's corrected, Ray, you know, he took about 4 or 5 deep shots in the game against the Chiefs, but only one of them connected. Obviously, it was the most important one to Devontae Smith, but he missed Devontae earlier in the game on a similar one. He missed A.J. Brown on one that kind of like, I think he got hit or there was so much traffic in his face. You might remember it was pretty early. It floated. A.J. actually caught it out of bounds and got hit, and everybody thought it was a late hit. There were about 4 or 5 plays that you typically see him and Brown and Devontae connect on that in the first 2 weeks just haven't been there.
Closing in on the 12 o'clock hour here on the Midday Show on WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Oh, man.
3-0.
3-0.
Sorry.
Beautiful Monday. It's just a beautiful.
Victory Monday.
Yeah.
How can you not like Victory Monday?
I don't know.
Especially second half Victory Monday.
Yes. It's the classic, if this was played out the reverse, we would have lost our mind. If they let them back into the game like this, we would have went crazy.
And you still won, though.
Yeah, and you still won. Which the Rams can't say today.
But it would be tempered. It would be tempered.
The Rams still can't say today. What we'd be doing would be like, well,
there's still a lot of cleanup.
You know what's really important about this one? Seeding in the NFC.
Factual.
Because as much as I want to say the empty calorie wins that the Niners are going to rack up might end up giving them the West, just nice to just have this one in the back pocket, over the Rams, just in case they do win the West.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, hey.
You never know when that comes back to help you.
Right. You never know when you might have to come to Philadelphia in the snow in January and play a playoff game. That's honestly, like, I don't necessarily want to see the Rams again because they've played some really close games with you. And coming up, we're going to play some audio from Matt Ryan, who had an interesting message for the Rams following that game on CBS. I don't necessarily want to see them again, but wouldn't it be poetic after an offseason where like, well, if it wasn't snowing, they get another playoff game in Philadelphia and it snows again?
So great.
I think that would also be really difficult for Jeffrey Lurie in the sense of how do you justify the Dome if back-to-back years you invite these guys from the West Coast in for the playoffs?
Don't close that off.
Right.
Or if you do get the Dome, it's retractable, open it up for that game.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can.
No. I would have that as a stipulation.
All right, so now
we got a Dome. Now we decide.
We're asking for the big Dom rule and the big Dome rule.
The big Dome and the big Dom.
We got a lot of
all kinds of rules. It's our rules. It's our house.
Nothing tush push related. We're advocating for real change in the NFL, not this tush push crap that people are advocating for change. We have real rule changes that will better the game and better our lives.
Snow. As soon as we were watching I guess it was the Bills game last week, and they kept showing their new stadium. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's just a clear-cut sign that the Eagles are going to get a domed stadium. Or retractable roof, or whatever you want.
Yeah, if everyone that gets lake effect snow is doing it.
But, yeah, because Pittsburgh's not. They don't have a new stadium.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They're going to be up for I'm not going to get into
this. But they would be a lake effect snow. Cleveland is a lake
Cleveland is getting the new stadium.
That's the thing. Those are lake effect snow places.
Pittsburgh.
That would be... It just seems strange for a place like, and I get it, Buffalo to have a roof, but these are the times. This is what happens.
I would like to point this out. We could be in for a very interesting public funding conversation when both the Steelers and the Eagles are asking for new stadiums.
Good point.
not that I'm not that serious of a guy, but like when it comes to serious issues like my football team getting a new stadium, that's going to be a very interesting like political pull from each side of the state of like, we need a new stadium here, we need a new stadium here, and like middle of the state's
from your city funds, not the state funds.
It's just going to be like,
this is city funds.
I don't know. We'll see.
No state funds.
I don't know where it's going to come from. Going to Jaylen Herz real quick before we get to the NFL notes at noon. Hertz with another Hertzism with like, you guys are the only ones that care how this happens. Listen to him after the game talk about how they won.
Man, nobody cares how it gets done. It's just a matter of getting it done. And you guys care about how it gets done. I don't. Man, just going out there and finding a way to win, man. AJ, he made some big-time plays. He made some big-time catches. And Smitty made some big-time catches. Fred showed up and showed out when his number was called on. JD on the other side, yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful game, and I think I just take a lot of pride in finding ways to win because that's why you play the game. That's why you play the game. And I also take a lot of pride in playing to a standard, too, so.
You guys are the ones that cares how it gets done is not true.
Mm-mm.
But it's a wonderful thing to say. You can put it on a T-shirt.
Well, he also then, like, kind of listed guys.
Yeah.
He cared that those guys, like, I saw that they posted the locker room reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Herz was genuinely ecstatic, like euphoric even, talking to yelling at Jordan Davis across the locker room. Like, yeah, he cared about that guy getting that win like that, the manner with which he got it.
And again, I think it's we've talked about a number of different things like with Jaylen in terms of intangibles. The growth leadership-wise, to see him interact with Jordan Davis in that way and to see how meaningful it was for him to go post-game with him when they were on Football Night in America, and then that in terms of inside the locker room, that's great to see. AJ getting hyped up post-game in the locker room was a great thing to see. That's the type of win that should springboard you into being more aggressive offensively. We'll get into it more coming up in the 12 o'clock hour, but we're a couple minutes past noon here. I want to get to what happened around the NFL with the NFL notes at noon. Hit the music, Robin.
All righty.
Primetime music again.
Let's start off with Tampa Bay yesterday, and unfortunately sour news for Tampa Bay Bucks. Mike Evans went down with a hamstring injury and was ruled out rather quickly yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Some bad news there, which I know he's had some hamstring stuff over the years, but hopefully he can bounce back. I don't know if we'll be ready for next week, but another note for the Tampa Bay Bucks next week. Adam Schefter over the weekend reporting that Chris Godwin's targeting to return next week against the Eagles as well. So you lose one receiver, you get one back. Chris Godwin has not played since October 21st of last year when he dislocated his ankle.
Yeah, so very serious injury for him last year that's kept him out. And for them, Egbuka was listed as injured, and then he's doing incredible things.
Exactly.
They got an absolute steal in him.
As soon as I watched Egbuka play yesterday, and I thought, of course.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
The one-handed catch was absurd. He does it so casually. It's a shame for Mike Evans that this happens.
Right.
Obviously, I was there last year, and it was like, it's cool to see Mike Evans keep that 1,000-yard season thing going. The one thing I will say to the Tampa Bay fan base, if we want to start just picking fights before the week of Tampa Bay Eagles.
Tampa Bay week?
The Buccaneers were in line for a postseason spot. They played a terrible first half against the Saints in that game. Nobody cared. Nobody cared they were playing bad. And then they win the game, and the loudest that place got was not for any consequential play where they were going to clinch a playoff spot. It was for Mike Evans and a participation catch.
Yeah. He got it, but
That was the loudest the crowd got in that game.
Excited.
They were playing for a postseason spot.
They want their guy to get there. It's not a great fan base.
No, that's what I'm saying. The most intense it got in that place was me and a Steelers fan going back and forth on George Pickens dropping 4 passes the night before.
That's accurate.
That was the only person that had an issue with me there. I was walking around in Eagles gear at a Tampa Bay game after Tampa had beaten them.
They don't care.
They didn't care. Disappointed in that fan base. Disappointed for Mike Evans, of course, that he's going to be out. But that, of course, him being out, 1, hurts them next week against the Eagles, but 2, also hurts the 1,000-yard season streak that he's got going. We'll see how long he's out.
Well, another fan base that is pretty ratherly disappointed right now is the New York Giants. And they lost running back Tyron Tracy last night with a shoulder injury, left the game early. Although they saw a bright spot, though, in rookie running back Cam Scatterbo. He had 10 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown, but then also had 6 receptions, 61 yards on 8 targets.
Yeah, he just runs ferociously. Like, he runs like someone
exactly
in front
how
of
I
him.
ran in college, and
Yeah.
there's people that thought like, I don't know if it's going to translate into the NFL, and maybe it won't for a long term, but his aggressiveness will always translate.
Yeah. I get worried about the long-term safety of a guy that runs.
That literally runs like that, like he wants to run through a brick wall every single time.
Yeah.
But listen.
He's going to punish someone else on the other team. Run blocking, too. He's going to punish, pass blocking, too. He's going to punish someone. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's nice for the Giants, but yeah, he scares me. It just for his health.
Next up, sticking to the theme of some injuries, unfortunate news for Najee Harris.
Yeah.
He went down yesterday with a non-contact injury. Jim Harbaugh is saying after the game that it was his Achilles. No confirmation on the severity of it yet, but when a non-contact injury goes down, you feel like it's a ruptured Achilles. He had a unlucky offseason with the fireworks incident, and now with his eye, and now...
Yeah, no, it's tough for him. And then James Conner also yesterday going down.
Former Steelers running backs.
Yeah, yesterday just felt like kind of carnage across the NFL in terms of the number of guys you saw that, like CeeDee Lamb going down. Mike Evans, you just highlighted. Those two guys going down.
injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough one. And then you feel for Najee as you're watching him walk off the field, and it, just like you felt for Conner. Like, just
it's tough.
Get yourself back out there, and brutal in terms of some of the injuries around there. But thank you for that, Sean Rodman. Your NFL notes at noon. Coming up, resetting where we've been. I want to play again for you the AJ clip, just to drive home the point of aggression for this team.
And what they're capable of.
Yes, but also Matt Ryan and what he had to say about this Rams team after the game. How they should feel is not how I would feel if I was the Rams today. But is it fair assessment of the way they should feel today? And I'm just looking at it as a Philadelphian. We'll dive into that conversation alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill.
And let's go there with the passing offense, because it was a lot of our conversation yesterday with, hey, fantastic to get that win in Kansas City. A really good job of going on the road against the reigning AFC champs where they were in a desperate spot. Great job getting that win. But that passing offense right now, not where you would, I guess, expect a team with the talent they have to be. What are you seeing right now in this passing offense that needs to be corrected most?
Yeah, I mean, corrected is a tough word. Let's first go to the root of what I hear a lot of people saying, and I just myself don't believe it to be true, and that's just not my opinion. I've watched the tape. I've been fortunate to watch tape with some really smart people, former football players, former Eagles who have helped school me on things to look for and concepts. Greg Cosell is a part of our Inside the Birds family, and he's one of the top tape breakdown guys in all of the land, right? And the first thing you're looking for with new offensive coordinator Kevin Petullo is he doing something different? Is he trying to add something to this offense that it's not catered to do? Is he not suiting it to the strengths of his personnel? And I can definitively tell you that the offense conceptually is built and looks and is designed the same way it's been for the last few years. So the idea that it's Kevin Petullo's fault and he's doing something that the other guys weren't doing is completely false. Now, I'm not saying he's flawless, and obviously he's 2 games into the first time as a coordinator, and so there's a feel for a game. There's an understanding of when to call certain plays at the right time, and that's something that is developed along the way. And clearly, Kellen Moore came with that already, whereas Kevin Petullo didn't have it. Brian Johnson 2 years ago didn't have it at the NFL level. So I understand sort of people saying, oh, man, this reminds me of 2 years ago. But the difference is they have Saquon here, and conceptually they're keeping things the same. So when Kevin Petullo is calling a certain play from his menu, that menu isn't all that different from the menu of last year and the year before, because the Eagles understand this better than anyone because it's their building and their players. They understand what their offense should look like, how it should run, what is the best way to run it. They're not like a team that runs like 1,000 different route concepts and route designs. They do what they do really well. They run the ball typically, and then they try to get the shot play that Jaylen Herz likes so much. And so when you ask what's corrected, Ray, he took about 4 or 5 deep shots in the game against the Chiefs, but only one of them connected. Obviously, it was the most important one to Devontae Smith, but he missed Devontae earlier in the game on a similar one. He missed A.J. Brown on one that kind of I think he got hit or there was so much traffic in his face. You might remember it was pretty early. It floated. A.J. actually caught it out of bounds and got hit, and everybody thought it was a late hit. There were about 4 or 5 plays that you typically see him and Brown and Devontae connect on that in the first 2 weeks just haven't been there.
Touchdown! Darius Williams asking for a flag. He won't get it. And A.J. Brown has his first touchdown of the year.
When you get A.J. Brown the football, good things tend to happen. A very bold, scorching take on this Victory Monday from myself, Ray Dunn, alongside Amy Fadul.
You don't say.
Yes. 6 catches, 109 yards, that touchdown. That touchdown, by the way, was the ultimate, all right, well, you didn't call it on the other team, you're not going to call it here. Both guys battling for the football. Well, I'm talking about the Devontae Adams touchdown earlier in the game where him and Reed Blankenship are battling for a position, and he pushes back. You have to realize from the Philadelphia side of things that Reed Blankenship is also grabbing at his arm, and, they're probably not going. I know the broadcast was Greg Olsen was that's offensive pass interference. I was like, yeah.
Greg Olsen, tremendous job, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I enjoy when
Big
he's
fan.
on the call.
But when he said it was offense pass interference, I was like, yeah, but they're going to call it in that moment. And then when AJ scores the touchdown, immediately I'm just like, I'm not there. But in my head, I'm like, please.
Don't. You're looking for it. Don't call it.
Don't throw it.
There's nothing out there. And Devontae Adams had a clear offensive pass.
2 physical receivers doing their thing.
That's what happens.
You get the benefit of the doubt when you're a superstar wide receiver on that one. What do you think he was going to guard him? No. You think he covered that guy? No shot. He's always open, famously, AJ Brown.
Literally.
And he wants to let you know that.
1K always open.
1K.
To the tune of 1,000 yards.
Yes. Which now he's back working towards that. We were a little worried about the pacing for that.
We're on good shape now.
42
now that
yards
we know,
in the first 2. Yeah.
That's actually it seems like a fever dream.
It wasn't. It was real. We lived it. We did the conversation. I got asked.
One target in the first week.
I was at the Union game because I'm doing some of the in-booth producing for home games, radio-wise for them. And someone asked me, how is everything? I was like, just don't ask me about A.J. Brown's usage in the offense today. Yeah. Whatever you do, I don't want to have that conversation today. I've had it all week. Yeah. Otherwise, my life's going good, but I don't want to talk about A.J. Brown not getting the ball anymore. Luckily, we don't have to, but A.J. Brown did talk about it post-game after the win yesterday.
Me personally, I truly believe, man, we got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative. And I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing, and play fast and play aggressive. I'm not saying that we haven't been, but me personally, that's what I would like. Obviously we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna set up the run off the pass and the pass off the run. But we have a lot of good players and I feel like you should just let us go. So it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that. You should just let us go.
Just let us go.
Let the killers be killers.
Let us go. Let us run. Set us free.
Which brings us back to where we started. It was a brutal first half, a miserable first half, a first half in which we all felt that we were suffering. And I saw someone in the YouTube chat say it earlier today, and I agree with this sentiment. At halftime, I was thinking about today. I was thinking a lot about today.
You're thinking about how you're going to talk about this?
I was like, man, we are going to have to break this one down in a painful way, aren't we? This is going to hurt tomorrow. But, alas, second half happens. And is the suffering of the first half worth it for them opening up this passing game? And is that the wake-up call they needed to do this
It's
going
worth
forward?
it if it happens next week.
Right. Well,
That's
it's worth
the
it because they won the game. But
well, yes, you're right, in the short term. But for me, it's worth it, the dread of watching them going into the third quarter thinking, this is how they're seriously going to lose this game like this? This is going to happen? If the payoff of that is obviously not just the win, but a turn of events like A.J. Brown was just talking about of let us run, let us open this up, let's let's eat. Let's everyone eat. Let's get everybody involved. Let's get this thing going the way that we know that we can and the way that we showed. That's, I think, the more frustrating thing. It's like we all knew you could do it. Then we've seen it. So now if you dial it back again, it's going to be almost worse. So that's what I need. I need the payoff next week and the week after.
And this should serve as the springboard. This should be the springboard
the
forward.
blueprint.
This should be, hey, look, you saw what happens when you get aggressive. I ask you at 610-632-0975, do you believe that this is the springboard going forward? Because Amy Fadul, you have your reservations about whether or not this is going to push this team to actually be the aggressive team I'm looking for.
I don't think we're going to see exactly what we saw in the second half for an entire game next week against the Bucs. I just don't. I want to. I just don't know that it's there yet.
They've got the offensive firepower, too, over there. Now, what they're going to do, I imagine, and this is it's Monday. Let's not preview the next game while we're still sitting here doing pretty much post-game coverage here. But, like, they're going to look at what Kansas City did, said, let's put as much pressure as we can.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what they've done a number of times before. I imagine it's what they'll do again. But I want to see this level of aggression where, again, whoever has got the play sheet. I saw a joke on Twitter yesterday of, like, someone showed Kevin Patullo the other side of the play sheet, like, that there was more to what he had. Like, he could actually use the entire playbook, and that changed things. Or, like, people that are giving Jaylen Herz the credit for calling plays. People say Nick Sirianni. Like, whoever was the mastermind.
It's a collaborative.
Yeah, collaboration. Whoever was the mastermind behind the second half. Be loud in the meeting this week. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Remember last year when the offensive line went into Sirianni's office? It was like, we should run the ball more. We got this Saquon guy. We should, value that. Go into the office this week like, hey, man.
Hey, we got this. I'm not going to show you anything from the first half because that was terrible. So let's flip the page and let's go in the second half.
You see what's highlighted here? See what's highlighted on this game sheet? You can't see it on the radio. The YouTube chat can. But the payoff here is the highlight is Devontae Smith, 8 catches for 60 yards, and A.J. Brown, 6 catches for 109 yards. You see those numbers? You see the fact that Hertz actually threw for over more than 200 yards, threw for 3 touchdowns? They could do that. That can be done. You can be that aggressive. It's not forgetting that you have Saquon Barkley. It's not forgetting about the running game. It's not forgetting about the concepts that you have in there. But it's about opening up a little bit more, being more aggressive. And we had the caller earlier that was like, well, I don't know about the first. I think it was Reggie that was like, well, maybe the first 2 drives, but not the rest of the game. If the first 2 drives go where you could start moving the ball down the field and you're able to build a lead,
then do that.
Then you have the ultimate weapon in Saquon Barkley to close out a game. That's more what this is about.
And I think that's it. It's the fact that you've seen it, you've shown it. Anything else will just be going backwards. And I don't know that you want to. I just don't know that how much they're going to lean into it. I don't know if it's going to be a full on like, all right, now we're going to let's throw it all up all the time. But you should. It should look like what the Rams were trotting out.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first half, that's what the Rams were doing, right? Here's Devontae Adams. Here's Puka Nakua.
And oh, by the way, if you start respecting this passing game, look what opens up for Kyron Williams, what opened up yesterday for the Rams. When you talk about the Rams. Now, speaking of the Rams, and I want to get your opinion on this at 610-632-0975 in whether or not you think this is the jumping off point for this offense, whether you think that first half, what they were really necessitated them to do in the second half, that pushes them forward. You get in that 610-632-0975. But talking about specifically the Rams, Matt Ryan, yesterday on CBS, had a message for the Rams after a loss like that. And I know I saw the joke on social media. Guy that, blew a big lead, trying to teach everyone about how to deal with blowing a big lead. 28-3, whole thing. I'm not going to get into it. But Matt Ryan addressing the way the Rams should address this following the game.
Where we've had these conversations after a loss, like the one they had today. Really difficult loss, really well-played game, hard fought on both sides.
With a chance to win at the end.
With a chance to win at the end. And you're saying, we're going to see them again. We're going to see them again. We're going to see them at some point down the road. And hopefully it's at home, but maybe we're coming back here. We know that we can go here and we can get the job done. We got to tighten a few things up, but we're every bit as good, if not better, than the Philadelphia Eagles.
You know that you are
just as good.
Pretty good. You know that you can put yourself in an advantageous scenario for about a half against the Eagles. But what they have been unable to do time and time again is actually finish the job, which he mentions in there. That's the one phrasing, the wording that I have issue with, of finishing the job. Out in L.A. last year, the game that was a blowout, Shouldn't have been a blowout.
No.
You actually, for the Rams, moved the football the first 2 drives and probably should have taken control of that game. You didn't. Here in Philadelphia, you staged the second half comeback.
Mm-hmm.
You had a chance to win the game. You didn't. Here in Philadelphia, this season, you're looking again at a team that got up early, had the opportunities early, had every opportunity to close out that game, and you didn't.
Multiple. 4th and 1. Kick a field goal.
So you can feel like you can hang with the elite of the NFL, but you still have yet to beat the Eagles. I don't know if necessarily inside that locker room, I'm saying they're thinking like, oh, yeah.
Well, listen, we showed that. That's something maybe down the line when you're looking back on it, if you are preparing for them again, like, hey, I know it didn't go our way in week 3, but here's what we could say. There's no way you're thinking about that right after the game when you blew a 19-point lead.
You hope that you come into the facility Monday with that mentality of like, hey, we're
like,
right
listen,
there with them.
We're right there. Listen, we got to move past it, but there's some good things to take away.
Yeah. I mean, that's a soul-crushing way to lose a football game.
Oh.
And just a way for you to, again, lose a potential tiebreaker with a team that you might have battled for seeding at some point. Like, that's just a brutal way to go about it. I understand what Matt Ryan's preaching to them, but in that moment, I don't know necessarily if you could tell yourself that you're able to finish the job against them because time and time again, you haven't been able to finish the job. You've been able to hang with this team. You're right there.
You
but
showed
you have
that you're
not
right there, but you're actually not better than them.
Yeah, and you just haven't been able to find a way
So.
against a team that has, again, continued to find a way. I want to get to the coaching of this game. Some decisions that were precarious by Sean McVay, and maybe part of the reason why he's now 0-4 against Nick Sirianni. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What a win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and it ended with a blocked field goal and touchdown return by Jordan Davis. The Eagles came back from being down 19 points in the second half. A.J. Brown was able to get going in the second half as well. Brown spoke postgame on the offense early in the game and what made them successful in the second half.
We got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative. And I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing.
We'll see if the Eagles can continue getting A.J. Brown and their other various stars going on offense next week against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup, this time in Tampa Bay. Lane Johnson left yesterday's game due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media around 3:15, and the Phillies lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks, their first series loss since being swept by the Mets back in August. Phillies had the day off today before finishing the season at home. Next up is the Marlins in a 3-game series starting on Tuesday night. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Sean Rodman, on home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And doing a little reconnaissance yesterday, someone that I trust a lot, knowing the inner workings of the Eagles, sort of maybe not took me to the woodshed, but just said to me, chill out.
I'm going to say now, 6:08 in the morning, they're going to have to play better offensively against the Rams.
Oh, yes, they are.
They have to. They can do it. We need to see it, and there's no more excuses.
Does the passing game have to evolve? Of course it does. But you're also going to get more from Saquon Barkley and that rushing offense. And the reason that I feel better is I know what the offense is capable of. Man, I didn't expect this from the defense.
You know how you could answer this question? Think about this. What was your biggest fear going in?
It was the defense. And that's why I feel better today, because I look at this defense with all of the new pieces. Like, you lost Josh Sweat. You lost Milton Williams. You lost Darius Slay and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You didn't have Nakobe Dean to start the season because he's on the PUP list. There were all these things. You lost Isaiah Rodgers, who was the first backup to Darius Slay. And even still, with all of that, you're looking at a defense that's top 10 in the NFL that shut down both the Cowboys and the Chiefs in the second half, they've given up a total of 7 second-half points. So the reason I feel better is I have confidence because I've seen it that these offensive weapons are going to deliver. And the defense is now showing you, hey, we haven't missed a beat.
If they have to beat Josh Allen, and they got to beat, they got to go beat Joe Burrow in shootouts, Jaylen Herz can do that.
Yeah, they showed it last
He's shown that he can do it. If he wants to put 40 up on Patrick Mahomes, he can do it. Or if they want to win a tight game in a phone booth, they can do it. So it was sort of said to me yesterday, just pump the brakes a little bit. And also, I will leave you with this. Just wait till Sunday. I mean, wait and see what you see Sunday. So there's a belief that things are coming. Just chill. And so I'm going to take it like that. And doing a little reconnaissance yesterday, someone that I trust a lot, knowing the inner workings of the Eagles, sort of maybe not took me to the woodshed, but just said to me, chill out.
I'm going to say now, 6:08 in the morning, they're going to have to play better offensively against the Rams.
Oh, yes, they are.
They have to.
Victory Monday here, also a football Monday here on The Fanatic, which is brought to you by Pierce Phelps, Brian Hegan Air Conditioning. Visit nopaybryant.com. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the middays program. Man, I said it at the outset of the show. Like, it's incredible to do this show today, given the fact that I don't necessarily know I've processed the fact that they won the football game. Like, they did win 33-26. I understand what I watched, but it was one of those that, like, I'm just kind of sitting there. And I mentioned I did, like, the whole afternoon in my friend's living room just watching. Beautiful.
Oh, the Octobox.
You got 2 TVs going with the multi-view screen. So you got 8 games going in the 1 o'clock hour. And it's just a wild way to watch football.
Right?
Yeah, it really is. So just sitting back there, getting a little wings, a little pizza, enjoying the Sunday afternoon after you did pregame with Connor Thomas. And, we had a great time on the pregame show, going back and forth. And he did say something that scared me. He had made the comparison of a team coming in here hungry for revenge in the postseason game after crying in the offseason, and then used that 49ers team coming to the link.
Oh.
And it's not, he kept telling me, it's not that I expect that to happen. After the first half, I was like, maybe that's exactly what's happening here. Maybe this is the 2023 49ers game. But this team showed you they're not that team. And why should I be so scared? And we've given a lot of credit where credit's due for the guys on the field in this game. Jordan Davis, Fred Johnson, Hertz, Brown, Devontae Smith,
Dallas Goedert.
We've thrown flowers at a lot of people's feet so far in this show. Zach Bond, Quinyon Mitchell. We've done a ton of throwing flowers at the feet of players. But from a coaching aspect of this, we're hoping that Kevin Patullo learned something yesterday. There's lessons in winning and there's lessons in losing. Hopefully there was a lesson in winning yesterday, but from Patullo of you won, but hey, maybe why you were losing is a big problem for you going forward. We're hoping that's the case. We don't know. I don't know that to be the case. There were also lessons learned by people they're not coaches nationally that said things at halftime, like Skip Bayless, Rams making a statement in Philadelphia, our turn, we're the NFL's best, bye Eagles, bye. Hopefully you learned. Maybe watch the second half before you tweet something out like that. But a lesson that I don't necessarily hope was learned, but I think should be learned by Sean McVay is you can be one of the greatest game planners of a generation and one of the best in terms of calling plays of a generation. If you don't manage the in-game decisions correctly, it doesn't matter a ton. And again, Sirianni, we know where we've been with the guy. We know the roller coaster it took to get here. We've done the cliche a million times about how we got here. But when it comes to the Rams' in-game decision-making yesterday, he got outdone. Flat out, Sirianni outdid.
Well, and I think there were some of those, and I understand, what the analytics and what all the percentages tell you. Oh, if this is the scenario, you should do this. And maybe sometimes they rely too heavily on that because there was some head scratchers out there. And I know I mentioned the 4th and 1, but there's definitely other times when I thought, why are you going away with what had worked to that point? Not that I certainly was a happy mistake on any Eagles fans' part when you saw McVay kind of making these miscues. They're a little out of character, and I just thought, is this because he feels like he has to put this team away, which he had done? That night up 19 points. But then there was some odd play calls that came to light, and I thought, is he just playing scared? Is he playing tight?
He's
or is
playing
he just
inconsistent to me.
Well, that was it. It was all over the place.
Right. If you're going for the kill with the 4th and 1,
right,
then the next time you get it, the blocked field goal, you should be going for the kill there inside of Eagles territory on a short 4th down. That's an issue. And then early on in the game, there was a field goal, I forget. I guess the end of the half they're playing for the field goal, and it's like, okay, you guys have some time to do things. You could do more
over
here.
Over a minute, I think, right?
Yes. The field goal, it was the field goal before the field goal at the half that they had short 4th down in Eagles territory. It's like there were times that if you had just been more aggressive, match the aggressiveness you had later in the game where you get stopped on 4th down, potentially you're putting more points on the board and really putting the Eagles in a bad spot. I understand. Take the points. You know who doesn't take the points? Sirianni.
No.
And that was...
Unless the points are staring at him in a 60-yard field goal, and then he's going to take those points instead.
But that was early on. What did the Eagles do? That first, they get the ball, Zach Bond. They're like, we're going to go for the touchdown.
Push it. We're going to 4th and 1.
And that's part of why I think he ends up losing.
But also, you keep the ball. The momentum not only is going with you, but you also have time of possession.
Right. And I think that the lack of, and I know for some people you will never break the ideology of take the points. And that's just the way you're wired.
Is what they do.
And if that's the way you're wired, you're hearing me say this and you're saying, well, Ray, you're actually wrong about this. And I'm fine for you to hold that opinion forever. To be the conservative play caller in the way of approaching 4th down in today's NFL is leaving points on the board.
Yeah.
And against Nick Sirianni, it's leaving points on the board. And
you would think you would have learned your lesson.
Right. And the way this Eagles team plays, especially we talk about them being that it team, you want to put that team away. And they did not, or they were not capable of doing that. Even when we're sitting at home saying, ooh, I don't feel great.
That's going to come back to get you.
Those examples of a short 4th down where you kick a field goal from the 15-yard line of the Eagles, where you're talking about right before the half, not going full throttle at trying to get points and just trying to get a field goal. You go for it, and when you don't get it, you decide the next time, well, we're not going to go for it. Well, that's inconsistent in your messaging, and then that field goal gets blocked. And, yeah, you don't plan for field goals to get blocked, but it's a culmination of a lot of decisions on the way that leave points on the board for you that you could have accomplished. I will also say, Fangio, it did not look pretty early with the way they were running through that defense. It looks like, okay, the Rams were they're going to try and sell out to stop what we got going in the passing game. Let's try and exploit the running game here, and they did a good job. But part of conservative play calling in terms of 4th down, coupled with adjustments late, they were able to stop you to field goal attempts. And that's a difference for you. I mean, those points going up on the board, they're just field goals. They're not touchdowns. It's McVay deciding not to go for it, and it's also Fangio's defense not breaking in the biggest moments for it.
Yeah, not breaking and even getting them in those situations. And for Fangio, it's such an interesting chess match to have to play with playing an offense that is not consistent in the manner that they play those important downs, those 4th downs, setting themselves up for these field goals. He's obviously trying to limit them in any way, shape, or form, but again, he's like, I don't know. Is third down the actual fourth down for them? Is that their last down meeting, or are they going to extend this? So for him, I thought it was a really good job of adjusting on the fly because he was playing it probably a little too conservative in the first half, and I think they were still trying to figure out what to do with the coverage of Devontae Adams because not in the first half, but overall the game, obviously. In the second half, you saw a lot. Quinion was just like, well, you're on it. Like, you're on him the whole time. Puka Nacua was a problem. At some point, you just have to kind of raise your hand and be like, well, that's just going to happen. But Kyron Williams, the way he was able to run roughshod, it was like, all right, we need to button this up. But also, he had to play the chess game of like, we don't know exactly what this guy's doing because it didn't seem like McVay knew what he was doing there for a little bit, certainly in the second half. And I just thought Fangio adjusted and answered every single attempt they had. And those fourth down stops they're massive, those third down stops. And to force them into fourth down to get in those
and then when they take
guessing scenarios. Yeah.
And real quick here, because I see Neil, and Neil today, I guess, has decided he is just the anti-bird conversation.
Oh, he's anti-Eagle.
We appreciate Neil because Neil's like, well, take the other side. Look at the other side of this game. Looking at the other side of this game, he brings up the 4th and 6 at midfield and Sirianni going for it. I subscribe to that. I'm all in on that. You're at midfield. At this point, you need points. You need to start scoring. You were at a possession game at that point. I was cool with them going for it on 4th and 6. Had they lost that game today, this program, this host, I would not be sitting here saying that they should not have gone for it on 4th down there. You needed to start making up ground in that game. I understand people when they don't get it, why'd you go for it on 4th? Cool with them going for it on 4th down there. I don't know that the block field goals are coming when we're sitting there in the living room and that's happening, and I'm getting texts of like, why are they going for it on 4th and 6? Like, they need points. They need to come back. This is a part of the game where you don't know how many more possessions you're going to get. You're at 4th and 6 at the 50-yard line. If your defense can't hold them, then, that's it. That's like you're kind of cooked. Like, that's the way this goes. I want you to play that possession game to go after it. The timeout with 15 seconds left, I got nothing for you. I was like trying to figure out, is he trying to bait them into a mistake? Is that what, I didn't know where he was going with that. So, sure. In that case, Sirianni, I don't know what you're doing. I will say, when you're 4-0 against the guy, there are some times where you're just outdoing him. And I think that part of what is being outdone is McVay getting conservative in the way he makes decisions and being inconsistent when he wants to be aggressive. That's a problem for me. I pointed that out when Sirianni lost in the Super Bowl, by the way, to the Chiefs. That was something I pointed about Sirianni and his blame in that game. So I think you can look at that from a number of different angles. I think part of what happened yesterday is you were inconsistent when you were aggressive. That came back to bite you.
It did.
And
the Eagles took advantage.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean,
because a team can put that on a platter for you and you don't do anything with it.
Right.
That was the important thing. The Eagles also made the shift.
Yeah, they did. Did they make the switch? Is that what we're saying?
They did make the switch.
Oh, that's great. Love that. Love when someone does that. Coming up, I do want to dissect a little bit of that first half and just where we were at. Because we've done so much of wow, everything's great. Second half was so much fun. They won the game, come back. Just trying to pick apart what we saw in that first half and what we can't ever see again. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
A tale of two halves. I'm Sean Rodman, and we all know it wasn't pretty in the first 31 minutes of that game. Jaylen Herz started to get the offense going in the second half, though. He had 204 passing yards in the second half. A.J. Brown finally got going as well with 6 receptions for over 100 yards and a touchdown to finish the game. The game came down to the final play. Here is the game-saving field goal block in return for a touchdown courtesy of Fox.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again! This time Jordan Davis! The big man looks for the icing on one big cake! Eagles hang on!
Jordan Davis and the Eagles head to Tampa Bay next week for Week 4 matchup, which is another matchup of 2 undefeated teams, this time in Tampa Bay. We'll keep you updated on any news regarding the Birds, especially with Lane Johnson reportedly getting a stinger, according to himself. And we'll see if he's on the injury report come Wednesday. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And let's go there with the passing offense, because it was a lot of our conversation yesterday with, hey, fantastic to get that win in Kansas City. A really good job of going on the road against the reigning AFC champs where they were in a desperate spot. Great job getting that win. But that passing offense right now, not where you would, I guess, expect a team with the talent they have to be. What are you seeing right now in this passing offense that needs to be corrected most?
Yeah, I mean, corrected is a tough word. Let's first go to the root of what I hear a lot of people saying, and I just myself don't believe it to be true, and that's just not my opinion. I've watched the tape. I've been fortunate to watch tape with some really smart people, former football players, former Eagles who've helped school me on things to look for and concepts. Greg Cosell is a part of our Inside the Birds family, and he's one of the top tape breakdown guys in all of the land, right? And the first thing you're looking for with new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo is he doing something different? Is he trying to add something to this offense that it's not catered to do? Is he not suiting it to the strengths of his personnel? And I can definitively tell you that the offense conceptually is built and looks and is designed the same way it's been for the last few years. So the idea that it's Kevin Patullo's fault and he's doing something that the other guys weren't doing is completely false. Now, I'm not saying he's flawless, and obviously he's 2 games into the first time as a coordinator, and so there's a feel for a game. There's an understanding of when to call certain plays at the right time, and that's something that is developed along the way. And clearly, Kellen Moore came with that already, whereas Kevin Patullo didn't have it. Brian Johnson 2 years ago didn't have it at the NFL level. So I understand sort of people saying, oh man, this reminds me of 2 years ago. But the difference is they have Saquon here, and conceptually they are keeping things the same. So when Kevin Patullo is calling a certain play from his menu, that menu isn't all that different from the menu of last year and the year before, because the Eagles understand this better than anyone because it's their building and their players. They understand what their offense should look like, how it should run, what is the best way to run it. They're not like a team that runs like 1,000 different route concepts and route designs. They do what they do really well. They run the ball typically, and then they try to get the shot play that Jaylen Herz likes so much. And so when you ask what's corrected, Ray, he took about 4 or 5 deep shots in the game against the Chiefs, but only one of them connected. Obviously, it was the most important one to Devontae Smith, but he missed Devontae earlier in the game on a similar one. He missed A.J. Brown on one that kind of I think he got hit, or there was so much traffic in his face. You might remember it was pretty early. It floated. A.J. actually caught it out of bounds and got hit, and everybody thought it was a late hit. There were about 4 or 5 plays that you typically see him and Brown and Devontae connect on that in the first 2 weeks just haven't been there.
Welcome back in. Midday show here, working our way through the 12 o'clock hour, which is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. Alongside Amy Fidul, I'm Ray Dunn. We're going to get to the rough moments of that first half in a second here, because there were quite a few things that we have to work out of our system after watching that. We're going to get to your text in a moment.
Flush it.
But we just talked about the coaching work in this game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more underrated coaching moments of this game came before the game even started. I know we all saw after the game, and I talked about it this morning, Jalen Carter rocking Jared Verse's chain after the game. That 8 chain looked great. Winners win. You can kind of do what you want at that point.
Yep.
I have a hard time believing you go home with that.
No, that's not your chain now.
I mean, if you bet on the game.
Okay.
I mean, I
That's
play
chain?
for keeps on this one.
That's your chain now?
Yeah. You bet your chain on the game. That chain's my chain.
So what happens if they face each other in the postseason?
Did they
Is
get
it
the
double
chain
or
back?
nothing? Is it
Is
how
it
does
another
this work?
chain?
It has to.
Is it a car?
It has to be just returned at that point. I
Oh,
feel
they
like it's
just-
not a double
so
or
now-
nothing
okay.
situation.
But what does Jaylen Carter get on top of that? If
Oh, if
were
he
to bet-
wins.
if he wins the next time around,
Well,
It's
I mean,
another chain.
he's gotta
Does
go-
Jared Verse have a new chain?
Yeah, then he just starts to have 8 chains
You know,
all
then
over.
no, then he's 2 chains. Stop it.
Ah, good call.
That's
Good
too
call.
easy. That was low hanging.
Good stuff, Amy Fadul. Good stuff, Amy Fadul. But with that, there was the interaction before the game between Jared Verse and Jaylen Carter, and I did not recognize this until it was pointed out to me on social media.
I didn't see it until you showed
So
it to
John Clark posted the video of Jaylen Carter walking over, talking to Jared Verse. And then you see someone emerge into the screen following Jaylen Carter in this interaction.
me. Really close to him.
Clint Hurt, the defensive line coach, like, I'm just going to go follow this interaction.
Let's just kind of keep an ear out. you
Yeah.
know, see what this is going to be like. Make sure there's, nothing extra. Just a friendly hello. How are you? Looking forward to a good game. You're a good defensive player. I'm a good defensive player. Little handshake.
Yeah.
And then a walk away.
Right. Yeah, you just walk over. You're like, hey, Jaylen. Jared, nice to see you. Good to see you. All right,
Good to see you.
Jaylen, back to warming up.
How are the Eagles fans treating you? Good, Jared?
All right, good. Good to see you. All right, Jaylen, let's
I
get
think
back
our
over here.
interactions are now over.
It's just funny to see. Like, you could almost feel like the coach, like, not again. We talked about this a little bit of, like, in that Dak situation, like, who's the guy to, like, step in and stop that? Pre-game, Clint Hurt's like, nope, yep, we're coming back over here.
that's it,
Warm-up's over here.
Yeah, because when they did finally kind of like meet up to talk, you could see Clint Hurt just inching a little bit closer.
He just
to
gets a
kinda
little
like
bit closer.
Maybe eavesdrop a smidge.
And, hey.
And in case you need to jump in. Not that there would any be reason to jump in before the game, but.
Everything worked out. We're not going to talk about that taunting penalty. But, everything worked out.
Oh, yeah. I
By the way.
kind of forgot about it there for a second.
Oh, I didn't. Speaking of which, the taunting penalty on Nakua. We're all Philadelphia sports fans. It benefits the Eagles, but that was weak. That was another example of this weak taunting penalty thing they got going on in the NFL right now. Like, give me a break. He flexed. Let's all relax. The No Fun League has returned in that regard. But let's have some fun and go to the text line here.
The flexing.
Yeah, the flexing should have been.
I mean,
What do you got for us?
Let's have some fun. This text has to be someone that's not an Eagles fan, and it just kind of highlights the hatred towards the Eagles
Love
right
it.
now. Well, first off, this person texted at 4:39 a.m. yesterday morning, saying, "No weather this time. Let's see what happens now."
Oh.
Oh,
like a taunting, like, hey, how you going to.
Yes.
So 4:39.
You're not going to slow us down now that
The
there's no
21st.
snow.
So Sunday morning. So they were drunk at an LA bar and texted in our text line at like 1-something in the morning.
It's a local number. It's a PA
No, they were
number.
here
So they might have
ready
been
to roll at 8 a.m. Probably drinking.
4:39 a.m. I'm thinking that you're out at like 1-something in the morning LA
Oh.
time. Like, yeah. let
So
me
it was
get-
a person out in LA that's from here.
I don't
With a
know.
local number.
I'm not going to share their business, this person, by any means, but it is a local
Give us
number.
their phone number
Yes,
and their home
that's right,
address.
exactly.
I have things to address with them.
It's a 215 area code.
All right.
But anyways,
Well, maybe they were out, Hey, we've all had nights, right, that made it almost to 5 a.m., right? We can all agree.
100%.
Yeah. So maybe
Just
they
stay
just
on
had
up.
one of those nights.
Maybe. Today, this person's saying, once again, you win off the cheating shove. If they call the false start like they should, you get moved back 5 yards and are forced to kick the field goal, which means you lose without the cheat again. So you enjoy your New England borderline cheating run. A win is a win, right? Love it, live it, and love it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help.
I mean, the thing is, the fact that they took it from there, like, oh, if you don't get this, that's what happened. Jordan Davis still is going to block that. There was 2 block kicks. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
That's okay. Hey, listen, I like this. I like everyone hating us. This is a good feeling for me. I enjoy the fact that right now we are the ire of the entire nation. This is a good thing. This is what you want from your football team. Now, what drew my ire in the first half? Because the offense, I think we've covered extensively at this point in the program. I think we've touched on that. I know a week ago you felt like we went offense heavy on Monday. I think we've talked enough offense that I don't need to point out that the offense was flawed in the first half. First half, something that really bothered me. Damn kickoffs.
I don't. We've talked about this before.
The new kickoff rule stinks.
I don't like it.
I 35.
I understand why. I get it.
35-yard line for a touchback drives me nuts. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. And now this new thing, like, maybe this is me coping with the fact that they can't hold on to the football. But, like, I don't watch football for the ball to be kicked and dropped in front of someone and watch them try and scoop it up, pick it up, and make it work.
Yeah.
If I wanted to watch a game in which the ball is on the floor and they're trying to make something happen with it, I would watch soccer. That's what this is about, okay? If I want to watch the game with the ball on the turf, I got soccer. I was there Saturday. I watched the game. My football game, I want the ball in the air, okay? That's the way this is supposed to go. Them fumbling around, trying to pick up a kickoff, not for me, okay? We talk about, that's a rugby play. This is not what I grew up enjoying. What has happened to the game I love is basically what this is.
The rugby play.
But while we're talking about this.
I can't believe you said that.
Well, everyone's like, tush push is a rugby play. We're all talking about rugby play. Like,
the kickoff is like the scrum now.
Is this a football play? Like, what is this? This is the XFL, UFL knockoff crap that I have to watch. And on top of that, we were very dangerously close to a programming decision to air Michael Clay's presser. The 2 block kicks saved him. We're not going to air the presser tomorrow. But if they continued to drop the kickoff like that, we were going to air it just strictly to hear him be grilled about it for 10 minutes about the fact that they can't pick up. Mechie and Bigsby, how many draft picks were traded for those 2 guys? And then they can't field a kickoff? Like, come on. Someone help me out here. I need something here.
It's like your one job. This is what you're here for. This is what we brought you in for.
So that was just a little bit of something I had to get off my chest after watching that game. Like, the first half, it was like, all right, it's not enough this offense can't move. Kyron Williams apparently is now prime Barry Sanders. I have to watch you drop the ball every kickoff.
Yes.
Every kickoff. Explain to me, Sean Rodman, football guy Sean Rodman, how I'm supposed to feel about this.
I mean, I don't know what other way you're supposed to feel about it. I got text messages from friends during that game. Like, at some point, you have to take both of them out and just put someone else back there.
Who's going back there?
That part I had no answer for.
Dotson? Like, I don't know. Who's trained to do this?
A.J. Dillon?
A.J. Dillon? Sean Rodman? Like, literally, who are we putting out there?
That's why you brought in those. That's why you brought them in. That's your job.
This is your job. This is all I'm asking you to do. Okay, I got that out of my system. I feel better now. Something also made me feel better after the weekend of baseball I watched. The Mets. Oh, man, what's happened up in New York?
So they would not be in the playoffs right now.
It's a football Monday here on The Fanatic.
But you gotta dive in a little bit.
Which is brought to you by Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit nopaybryant.com. It's a football Monday.
It is, and it will continue to be.
But it's also a Mets collapse Monday. We're going to dive into baseball in the next segment. The Phillies, it's a tough weekend, but not as tough as what's happening up in New York. Oh, where are they now? Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A come-from-behind win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and it ended with a blocked field goal and touchdown return by Jordan Davis. The Eagles came back from being down 19 points in the second half and only had 34 total yards at halftime. Jaylen Herz had 204 yards through the air in that second half. Herz spoke post-game on the beautifully ugly win.
We've been talking about taking pride in winning. We take pride in this game, as ugly as it was and as beautiful as it ended. That's the agony and ecstasy of the game of football.
We'll see if it can be a little less ugly next week against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup on the road, this time in Tampa. Lane Johnson left yesterday's game due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media later today around 3:15. Phils lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks. It's the first series loss for the Phils since being swept by the Mets back in August. Phils have the day off today before finishing the season at home. Next up is the Marlins in a 3-game series on Tuesday night. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 36 that gave the Eagles a field goal, a gimme field goal in the third quarter. The game was lost when Harrison Butker missed a field goal that would have been a 3-point. So that's when the game was lost.
Okay, so John, so why the sensitivity then?
Because
Okay,
you
so
said you just said it was a fact that the Eagles lost. You said the game was won on Get Up. You said the game was won because of the tush push. That was not fact, and you just said it was fact again. It wasn't won because of the tush push.
It was one of the factors involved in that game.
You didn't
They could
say
not
that.
Stop that play. Oh, okay. Well, you know what, John? I'm not going to go into Get Up when I got 20 seconds. Well, they did this and they did that and they did
Well,
this.
weren't they bigger? Okay, were they bigger factors or were they less factors? Because I think Travis Kelce and that interception was a bigger factor in the Chiefs losing than the tush push. Andy Reid twice going out of character was a bigger decision. Butker missing a field goal was a bigger than the tush push, which accounted for 5 yards in the game.
John, fine. What does that have to do with my opinion on the tush push? Again, people are mistaken. So, okay, so I'm not giving the Eagles flowers for making other plays? Okay, good. They did make those plays. Again, bravo. Excellent. They won the game. Great job. Okay?
Okay,
but people feel cheated that I didn't salute them for stopping them on 4th and 1 or coming up with a big pick. I'm just talking about the tush push and the ire it's raised across the league and across the country. People all worked up. I've never been one that's been worked up about it or against the play.
We absolutely have backed you on that. Andrew and I backed you on that completely.
The reason that I'm so presumptuous that Patullo will figure it out is I get that he's never called plays before. That's why I'm willing to give him some time to figure that part of it out. But this was the guy who was the passing game coordinator over the last few seasons where you just saw them win a Super Bowl. You saw them go to a Super Bowl. He was the pass game coordinator. So I know there's been a lot of chatter, and we even played the Dan Orlovsky clip yesterday of talking about how predictable the passing game was with routes to A.J. Brown running the same route over and over and over again. Patullo was the pass game coordinator. So are we really just thinking to ourselves that, well, even though he was the pass game coordinator, he probably didn't do anything. It was all Kellen Moore. Even though he was the pass game coordinator, probably didn't do anything. It was all Shane Steichen. He was a part of those passing offenses, so I do think he's going to figure it out. I think that he has also earned the benefit of the doubt. Like I said yesterday, this team has earned our patience. I think the fact that Patullo has been your passing game coordinator with a team that's been extremely successful, he has earned our patience as well.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made
Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powered in possibilities. Very fancy way of saying you're listening to the Midday Show on 97.5
That's right, you
Fanatic.
sure are.
Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. And we've talked a lot about the Eagles. So we got a couple of hate texts in there. Do we have any, just Eagles fan breakdown of what we got? Because the hatred I could feel. And I think today, nationally, the conversation's more like, wow, look at that second half Hertz had, and look at the fact that they won. Like, this team just finds a way instead of just absolute hatred. But we'll get there probably by the end of the week. Again, no one's bigger fans of the Buccaneers than pretty much everyone outside of Philadelphia come this weekend. But what do we have from people inside of Philadelphia, and not people that are cosplaying as Philadelphians that have 215 numbers but are obviously texting you drunk from an LA bar?
All right, well, not from inside Philadelphia, but a Philadelphia Eagles fan, originally, I believe, from this area. Terrence in Wilmington says, I know that this is the game that will be well remembered for the game that's Jordan Davis played his butt off, But a bigger point, a bigger perspective for me was this is the game when Jaylen Herz, after being a pro for 6 years for the Philadelphia Eagles, stepped to his offensive coordinator and said, dude, this ain't working. And he exuded the leadership qualities that a guy like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning would. And I'm not saying he has their talent. I'm saying the leader of this team.
It is interesting because we've talked for Hertz for a long time about like the emotionless approach. For him to exude that emotion and like drive that point home on the sideline, I remember it, and this might have been a 23 thing, might have been last year thing. Honestly, all the talking about Hertz all these years kind of starts to blend together. But it was during one of those times where like, what's going on with this offense?
Yep.
And you'd see them cut on the broadcast to him sitting there with the blank stare on the bench,
Just like looking straight forward.
Yeah, and people would be like, does this guy not care? Does this guy like? What's his problem? What's the deal with him?
Yeah.
To see a little bit of fire in that case is nice because it's like, okay, maybe that is the step in leadership that a lot of people wanted him to have. And that is like the Brady-esque. I still don't think he's going to be the guy that breaks the Microsoft tablet and, like starts to threaten the offensive coaches around him. But, I mean, you saw a decent level of like, we got to figure this out. Like, I need you to do that for me when it came to Patullo.
Well, and I think that was the thing. I needed to see that because it's like when a manager or a coach sees something going wrong and they're not that. Rob Thompson, for example, right? And everybody's like, well, he should get tossed out. For the, okay, well, if you do it every single game, then you just become a clown and that loses its luster as well. So for Jaylen Herz to have that point of like, he's obviously seeing something. And that's where the give and take with an offensive coordinator. So we were talking about earlier with, is it a different play caller? Did something happen between the first half and the second half? No, but there could be that change in the relationship of, here's what I saw, now I'm giving you this input, and now we can change that because it is a collaboration.
And
right?
for all we know, Patullo could have said to him, hey, man, get a little bit more aggressive. And Hertz
said, all right.
All right.
That's what I told you I was going to do.
Yeah. For all it is, the two of them could have had a very heated conversation at halftime, and that was just the follow-up to it.
I can tell you this one thing. We will never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know, and that's fine. I don't need to know sometimes how the sausage is made.
Yeah. I think from Hertz's perspective, you get him at the presser on Wednesday. I'd like to have those conversations with my guys. It's anything that we could do to win. And for Patullo, it'll be, I really appreciate when my players come after me and we have a good conversation, a good back and forth. And it reminds me of a time that, Sirianni and I were working back and forth in the office and had and he'll do a Sirianni-esque like diatribe that, Hertz will give you like.
We won't mention Mountain Union, but it'll be something similar.
Hertz will give you more of a, this is the method to the madness. This is what it takes to succeed. And Patullo will give you like.
Conversations every quarterback has.
So we'll be fine.
And there are conversations every quarterback has. I don't know if you see them sometimes so vehemently or demonstratively on the sideline, but you have those conversations.
Right.
They're always evolving.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, I liked it from that. And I think from that perspective, Terrence, you're right. Maybe we do remember this as a game where we got a little bit more of a fiery Hertz. I think Hertz, you could see since the report last year, we talked about Big Dom earlier in the $75,000 fine. But since the report that Big Dom and Brandon Graham went to his house, and then they had the couples therapy of him and Nick Sirianni, I think he's got a better grasp of where he should be in the room and what his voice in the room means.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been a big thing for this team in terms of growth forward, in terms of leadership for him. So that's nice.
I don't know. Well, then we talked about that growth, the leadership, the confidence. They need to start relying on that. And I think you saw that in the second half, and that was probably part of the conversations as well. Because I think it is a conversation. It was not just a lecture or a directive. It was, here's what I think we can do. Let's try to do this. Here's what I'm seeing. But it was one of the major overriding conversations of the offseason of like how confident Jaylen Herz is right now in his ability to run this offense, especially after the Super Bowl. Because last year he wasn't running the offense the way that it was probably designed to and the way that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith would have loved it to be run. But you had Saquon Barkley, so it was like, all right, well, we're going to ride this train until we're not going to be able to ride anymore. And they rode it to 2,000 yards and obviously, all the way into the playoffs. But I feel like that confidence is there. And the glimpse that you saw, it's bigger than a glimpse, but what you saw in the second half should be able to open the door. I'm just wondering how much will that door be open? Is it wide open now? Is that barn door complete? Everything's out now? Or is it just, I don't know.
Better be.
I don't know.
Better be. All right, from a team that finds way to win to a team that finds its way to lose, I'm loving this. I got to say.
This was great.
This, things that, make my day. And I kind of became a main, I don't want to say main character because that oversells me as a human being, but I became a character on Mets Twitter over the weekend. So if you're just tuning in, you just missed this. This is our first baseball dialogue of the day. It has nothing to do with the Phillies losing
105.
2-3. Yeah.
It's not.
Phillies losing 2-3 in Arizona. All right. There's things I was tweeting about over the weekend. There's things I take away from it, but the real takeaway of the weekend is for the first time since April 5th, the Mets are not in a playoff spot. April 5th was the last time they were not in a playoff spot. So they've been in a playoff spot all season long. They're in the midst of one of the great collapses we've ever seen. And
2007-esque.
There are people right now in New York opining this is worse because there's more playoff spots for you to fall out of one is...
And your salary is astronomical.
Yeah, $340 million. I honestly, if I was in New York sports radio today, I think if we were having that debate, I probably would be on the side that's the most impressive collapse.
Because there's the extra spot.
Two more spots.
That's crazy.
2 more spots. You spent $340 million. But to that point, I tweeted out this weekend because if you missed it, there was the inside the park home run in extras in the 9th. No, it was extras. It was the 11th. Yeah, I'm losing my mind here. In the 11th by the Nationals against the Mets.
Yes.
And I tweeted out, I think a lot about the guys who were yelling me at the 7 line after the Phillies got swept that the Mets were coming for the division. I can't imagine they're doing well right now. I didn't think that was that inciting. I didn't say I hope they're having a terrible day.
No, you said I'm sure they're not enjoying this, which is a factual statement.
Yeah.
There's no way a Mets fan enjoyed losing to the Nationals in the 11th inning and falling out of a playoff spot.
Right. It's just an innocent tweet. It was an innocent thing to say. I can't imagine those guys are doing well right now.
You were poking the bear, but it doesn't mean the bear didn't deserve to be poked.
I just can't imagine they're doing well right now.
They're not.
No, I was just saying I think about them. If anything, I'm owned.
Oh,
They've got real estate in my head.
But see, now you're on their radar.
Yes. So we got the people that were coping by tweeting at me about last year, which makes sense. We got someone tweeted me, not to be all kumbaya, but why does it always have to be fan bases trying to own each other? Just root for your team without being vile. Win or lose, neither franchise is cutting you a paycheck.
Vile.
Which I was like, if this is vile to you, you should have heard what they said to me at the 7 line. And to be fair, I'm just kind of poking back after I had to take the whole thing at the 7 line after that series. This was a great one. I had someone tweet back at me. They should have pushed you onto the 3rd rail of the train tracks that day when you went home.
Goodness.
I woke up to that tweet Sunday morning. That was the first thing I saw on my phone. A Mets fan saying that I should have been pushed into the 3rd rail of the train tracks that day when I went home. I woke up to that tweet, and I kid you not, I had to get in here for pregame. I had the immediate thought of what did I tweet yesterday?
Let's talk about vile.
I was like,
I
was of sound
They're
mind.
spiraling. The Mets fans are spiraling. They're circling the toilet their entire season, and their $500 million man has not produced anything that they needed, and so they're spiraling.
I was of sound mind all Saturday. So when I wake up Sunday to, they should have pushed you onto the 3rd rail of the train tracks that day when you went home. I was like, what could I have possibly tweeted that would elicit a response from those people?
The answer is nothing.
Just me poking a little bit of fun at the fact that they allowed an inside the park home run. The Mets, though, today, tied with the Reds for that final wild card spot. The Reds have the tiebreaker over them.
Correct.
Thus, the Mets are 7th in the National League right now, outside of a playoff
And the
spot.
Mets go to Chicago, face the Cubs starting tomorrow.
Correct. And the Cubs, that I guess could delude themselves. That division has been clinched, I believe. I think they they did clinch that division. So they have really nothing to play for except just keeping the Padres behind them, which a 3-game lead with this much time left. Cubs basically just going to play to keep the Mets out of the postseason.
Right.
And playing, I guess, for the home field in that Cubs-Padres.
They finish
so,
with tomorrow.
Yeah, they got to get a couple wins here. Cubs can't just lay over.
They're no longer at home, though, right? The Mets these are both on the road. That was their final home game, right?
Was that the...
I'm pretty sure.
Was that Fan Appreciation Day?
Right?
That was their final
that
game.
was Thank You Fans Day where they lose to the Nationals 3-2?
And then inside the Parker.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought I remember looking at that
Inside the Parker was Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday. So the Mets...
Yeah, they finished
on the brink of an incredible collapse. This is just awesome. I'm sorry. There's not much for the Phillies to play for this week.
Sure there is.
That 1 seed, they're not getting the 1 seed.
No, but there's just still stuff to play for. You got to get on. Let's start. They're going to give some guys some time or whatever. But let's just.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying in terms of seeding.
The most series wins in a season. That's fun.
Sure.
Little positive note heading into the postseason.
the positive note is if they go 3-3 this week, they got the same number of wins as last year. That's 95. That's one of the best regular seasons in franchise history. And they go 3-3 against the Marlins and the Twins.
I just like to beat the Marlins.
Yeah, all right.
And then the Twins, half of your team was a Twin.
Right.
So go ahead and beat that team too.
But now we're going to have to get into the conversation of who you want to see. But I just needed to point out.
No, don't. I'm not. Don't.
That's fine.
Do not like.
I got Kevin tomorrow. We'll
do
get
not
into that
like.
conversation. We'll get into that conversation.
We talked about this. You talked about the Diamondbacks. Maybe
the Diamondbacks.
You set it up. Don't do that.
Diamondbacks are a game back. So we might get the whole 3-person tie here. But that was, I just wanted to
pile on
a little bit on the Mets. We'll get back to the football coming up. And was Sunday what we needed to see to push this offense forward? Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
And doing a little reconnaissance yesterday, someone that I trust a lot, knowing the inner workings of the Eagles, sort of maybe not took me to the woodshed, but just said to me, chill out.
I'm going to say now, 6:08 in the morning, they're going to have to play better offensively against the Rams.
Oh, yes, they are.
They have to. They can do it. We need to see it, and there's no more excuses.
Does the passing game have to evolve? Of course it does. But you're also going to get more from Saquon Barkley and that rushing offense. And the reason that I feel better is I know what the offense is capable of. Man, I didn't expect this from the defense.
You know how you could answer this question? Think about this. What was your biggest fear going in?
It was the defense. And that's why I feel better today, because I look at this defense with all of the new pieces. Like, you lost Josh Sweat. You lost Milton Williams. You lost Darius Slay and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You didn't have Nakobe Dean to start the season because he's on the PUP list. There were all these things. You lost Isaiah Rodgers, who was the first backup to Darius Slay. And even still, with all of that, you're looking at a defense that's top 10 in the NFL that shut down both the Cowboys and the Chiefs in the second half. They've given up a total of 7 second-half points. So the reason I feel better is I have confidence because I've seen it that these offensive weapons are going to deliver. And the defense is now showing you, hey, we haven't missed a beat.
If they have to beat Josh Allen, and they got to beat, they got to go beat Joe Burrow in shootouts, Jaylen Herz can do that.
Yeah, they showed it last year.
He's shown that he can do it. If he wants to put 40 up on Patrick Mahomes, he can do it. Or if they want to win a tight game in a phone booth, they can do it. So it was sort of said to me yesterday, just pump the brakes a little bit. And also, I will leave you with this. Just wait till Sunday. I mean, wait and see what you see Sunday. So there's a belief that things are coming. Just chill. And so I'm going to take it like that.
Welcome back into the Midday Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Go back to the text line real quick on the game. I understand we got some response from the person I said was hammered at an LA bar and upset. Are they hate listening right now?
I don't know if they not. it's not necessarily that person. It's an Eagles fan that.
Okay, someone replying to them. That's better because I was like, if they're hate listening, I mean that.
Welcome.
A hate listen is the same thing as a love listen. I've learned that in this industry. Alongside Aim Abdul Amri Dunn, I've learned now, sitting in this chair, it does not matter if they're hating listening to you or they're loving listening to you. It only matters that they're listening.
The verb, yes. The verb is the most important part,
right?
Not the adjective.
Yes, because we're convinced that someone made an Instagram account today.
That's 100%.
We have not told you about this yet.
This is a troll.
Very impressive work by
show,
someone
yeah.
that's not enjoyed my perspective, my insight and perspective. I have a lot to say, and they don't like any of it. They're still listening, which is good.
Huh. Yeah.
But what do we got from this texter?
All right. We have Brian, an Eagles fan in Dallas, checking in, says
what's up, Brian?
The next hater who says we would have lost the game if they called us offsides or the brotherly shove, remind them of the Devontae Adams push-off on the Rams' first touchdown. Go Birds.
It's 100%. But then people might
And
say
A.J.
about
Brown.
A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I think that
see,
even
it's a
itself
little-
out.
They're
Even
both 2
so.
touchdowns.
You know
Yeah,
what's
I
crazy?
saw a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, the left guard, the false start on the tush push,
Right.
and then AJ Brown." I'm like, "Okay, well then let's go to the other things that happen on the other side." Sometimes those things have a way of kind of evening themselves out.
Well, the issue is you get the benefit of the doubt when you're good.
Right.
Like that's the biggest thing. Like
AJ Brown's going to get that call. Devontae Adams is going to get
right.
that call.
And the tush push, they assume you're running it well. Like that, they just
also-
assume that.
They've said they don't know how to officiate it.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's on you. I mean, that's your job. Your job
Literally.
is to officiate the games. They're not going to pause the season so you guys can figure this out. So figure it out on the fly. Like, well, we'll go back to the example here. Like, they got you doing a job. Like, if you don't know how to do it, you kind of have to figure out how to do it. That's
If you'd like to keep doing that job,
right. Figure out how to do it.
fake it till you make it.
I feel like that's any industry. I feel like that's a.
That's not it. Don't do
No, don't do that. I've been doing that for a long time, but don't do that. It's a bad thing. I'm a plant. I'm an industry plant.
You're the most permanent plan I ever saw. You're
Don't
here
say
all
that.
the time.
Don't say that.
You work all the time.
All right. We've asked the question throughout the show today about like whether this was what the offense needed to get in gear.
Mm-hmm.
And Jaylen Herz, we've played the audio about him talking about, you guys care about how it gets done. I don't. Here he is talking about how they're not proud of the way that this one started because, let's be honest, none of us in the Delaware Valley were proud of anything that happened in that first half.
We won the game. We were gritty in the game. We stayed together as a team. We did not quit. Nobody gave up. And in competitive sports, that's what it's about. I'm very proud of that. I'm not proud of how we started the game. I'm not proud of the flow in which we played, the execution and the focus that we had earlier in the game. But I am proud of everybody not giving up and everybody being determined to find a way to win the game. And there wasn't a doubt in my mind that someone was going to make a play on that field goal, especially looking at those two Georgia guys lined up next to each other.
So, one, before we get to the actual point of that,
That's good.
there was never a doubt that someone was going to make a play on that game. I appreciate his confidence in his teammates. That's a beautiful thing.
Make a play on that field goal.
Yeah. Does kind of reek of LeBron James telling you that he knew Kobe was going to drop 80. Like, you just knew that someone was going to make a play.
He doubled down on that recently, too.
He did.
Oh, I know
was
he
just
did.
Gonna say that.
I know he did. Because he also talked about my favorite thing of all time in that interview clip LeBron James was talking of the, first of all, Happy International Women's Day, which is also one of the all-time clips of all time of LeBron James sitting
Appreciate the
courtside.
nod, LBJ.
Yeah. The I knew someone was going to make a play.
I think that
I like your confidence.
The word maybe is believed.
Yeah.
I think he can believed because it's like someone called in, or there was a caller or a texter saying it was like the miracle at the Meadowlands. And in that game, I remember thinking absolutely they were going to win because they kicked it to Deshaun Jackson. And I thought, just like Mike Vick said afterwards, why in the world would you kick it to Deshaun Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he'd run it all the way back, but I thought something good was going to happen from it. I don't know that I felt that, but I thought, well, if it had happened before in the game, if there's ever a chance, it could maybe happen. I had a belief. I don't know. The word "no" I think is maybe used a little too loosely here, but I like it. He believed. He knew. He thought, yeah, we could do this because I saw us do it before.
Right, and there was clearly something Davis and Carter had on the way that they were like. It's
two Georgia guys.
There is
next to each other. There's something to be said on that.
There is something necessarily fluky, I guess, about blocking a kick, but it's not fluky in the sense that if you have the preparation, you understand. Like you see the two of them talk to each other before that. They'd already blocked a kick. They had something figured out with Cardi.
They knew what they needed to do. I mean, he really just even watch it again. Well, I've watched the thing like 50 times, but he really came through on that. Like it wasn't just he blocked it. Jordan Davis blocked it, then had the wherewithal and the dexterity to pick it up and run that thing. Like that is just you can't imagine how hard that must be for anyone, but a guy that size. I know he's Slim JD.
Not just difficult for Slim JD, difficult for people around the country that had the Rams +3.
Oh.
That is one of the worst beats I've ever seen.
That is an absolute bad beat for those Rams bettors. Well,
I mean, me personally, I had the Eagles winning the football game, so it didn't hurt me. I know that you, Sean Robin, picked against them on Friday.
I did. I thought that they were going to lose.
That was a tough look for you. Obviously, they were going to win the entire time. We all knew that.
I didn't bet Rams
had you in the first half.
They did have me in the first half.
Had you in the first half.
But that, my heart can't really break for anyone that had the Rams +3.5. Like, had he missed the kick, I would have been like, oh, good for you. I guess you won. You found the middle ground there. But it was as I'm watching that, unfortunately, the environment we live in, there is no way, he did it. Oh, he's going to run it back. Oh, my gosh, he's going to run it back. And, about the time that he is celebrating with people in the end zone,
I realized
I'm like,
everybody's like, what was the line?
3.5 was the line?
That's around the newsroom. What was that line again?
I said when he went the end zone, I was like, that's a bad beat right there.
That is absolutely a backbreaker. It'll be interesting, though, to go back to, because Jaylen Herz mentioned it, and so did you, those two guys, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, next to each other, and obviously the communication and the strategy, I guess, that they had. How much, the Rams will study that to know what they need to do, and how much other teams are going to be like, all right, well, how did these guys get through? How do you let a guy that's 300-plus pounds through on a kick?
Yeah, I don't.
How does that happen? So I'll be
There
interested to
is
see.
a growing theory on social media that he was going to pull that one to the left. People have tried to slow down the video and be like, that was actually going to miss anyways. I don't know. I'm not very good at projecting that out, but I saw it. So there was not just one person. If it was one person, I'd be like, all right. There was enough people on social media that were like, I don't know. It looked like that one was kind of going to the left. And I was like, I don't know how you guys are figuring that one out. But
you don't know what it looks like.
I know what it looks like. It looked like a ball that got blocked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was
looked like a touchdown the other way to me.
But Hertz talked about not being proud of the first half, and I just need this to be the jolt forward. I need this to be the jolt offensively forward. Everyone look around at each other and say, you know what? We should have a confidence in ourselves because we could do this week in and week out. But also, we should have confidence in ourselves because look what we just did.
We just did it. That's the thing. It's not just confidence because we believe we could do it. This literally is the version of no. We know we can do it because we just did it. We showed everybody we can. And then it would be hard to go backwards because of that, because you have that capability. Though I do think they're going to ease into it. I don't think they're going to see this all right, now we're just going to sling it on down the field. But when you're looking at a 3rd and 8 coming up, now you know that you have that in your back pocket. And I would feel like that's going to give you, whereas before you wouldn't see that. We would see a 3rd and 8 and you'd see a 5-yard pass. Now I would hope on a 3rd and 8, a 2nd and 7, you're going to see that 12-yard, the 13. You know what I mean? I feel like that's going to be where it's going to come into play.
EJM on our YouTube chat. Watching one angle from behind the kicker, it definitely looked like it was way more to the left before Davis got it.
These
than
guys
it
hook those things in. How many times have you seen those? They
I
have
don't
that.
know.
It's like a nice draw on your drive. They just draw it right over.
And he had the knuckleball on the kickoffs too. So
those things move all over.
Who's to say it would go back the other way? I mean,
I don't.
Yeah.
Don't bring up the kickoffs to me. I'm still very upset. Okay?
He doesn't.
I'm very upset. I don't want to talk about it. Coming up though, talking about just them improving offensively. Saquon Barkley spoke after the game and looking at the way this team can improve because it smacked you in the face in the second half. I hope it smacked them in the face too. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A come-from-behind win for the Birds. I'm Sean Rodman, and it ended with a blocked field goal and touchdown return by Jordan Davis. The Eagles came back from being down 19 points in the second half. A.J. Brown was able to get going in the second half as well. Brown spoke post-game on the offense's early in the game struggles and what made it successful in the second half.
We got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative. and I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing.
We'll see if the Eagles can continue to get A.J. Brown the ball and their various stars on offense next week against the Bucs in another undefeated matchup in Tampa Bay. This time around, Lane Johnson left yesterday's game due to a neck injury. He posted on social media that it was only a stinger. Nick Sirianni is scheduled to speak to the media around 3:15. Phillies lost yesterday to the Diamondbacks as well. It is their first series loss, since being swept by the Mets back in August. The Phillies have the day off today before finishing the season at home. Next up is the Marlins in a 3-game series starting on Tuesday night. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Sean Rodman, all home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 36 that gave the Eagles a field goal, a gimme field goal in the third quarter. The game was lost when Harrison Butker missed a field goal that would have been a 3-point. So that's when the game was lost.
Okay, so John, why the sensitivity then?
Because you just said it was a fact that the Eagles lost. You said the game was won on Get Up. You said the game was won because of the tush push. That was not fact, and you just said it was fact again. It wasn't won because of the tush push.
It was one of the factors involved in that game.
You didn't say that.
Stop that play. Oh, okay. Well, you know what, John? I'm not going to go into Get Up when I got 20 seconds. Well, they did this and they did that and they did this.
Well, weren't they bigger? Okay, were they bigger factors or were they less factors? Because I think Travis Kelce and that interception was a bigger factor in the Chiefs losing than the tush push. Andy Reid twice going out of character was a bigger decision. Butker missing a field goal was a bigger than the tush push, which accounted for 5 yards in the game.
John, fine. What does that have to do with my opinion on the tush push? Again, people are mistaken. So I'm not giving the Eagles flowers for making other plays? Okay, good. They did make those plays. Again, bravo. Excellent. They won the game. Great job. Okay? But people feel cheated that I didn't salute them for stopping them on 4th and 1 or coming up with a big pick. I'm just talking about the tush push and the ire it's raised across the league and across the country. People all worked up. I've never been one that's been worked up about it or against the play.
We absolutely have backed you on that. Andrew and I backed you on that completely.
The reason that I'm so presumptuous that Patullo will figure it out is I get that he's never called plays before. That's why I'm willing to give him some time to figure that part of it out. But this was the guy who was the passing game coordinator over the last few seasons where you just saw them win a Super Bowl. You saw them go to a Super Bowl. He was the pass game coordinator. So I know there's been a lot of chatter, and we even played the Dan Orlovsky clip yesterday of talking about how predictable the passing game was with routes to A.J. Brown running the same route over and over and over again. Patullo was the pass game coordinator. So are we really just thinking to ourselves that, well, even though he was the pass game coordinator, he probably didn't do anything. It was all Kellen Moore. Even though he was the pass game coordinator, probably didn't do anything. It was all Shane Steichen. He was a part of those passing offenses, so I do think he's going to figure it out. I think that he has also earned the benefit of the doubt. Like I said yesterday, this team has earned our patience. I think the fact that Patullo has been your passing game coordinator with a team that's been extremely successful, he has earned our patience as well.
You know when that game was lost? The game was lost when Travis Kelce dropped a pass that became an interception that gave the Eagles the ball. The game was lost when Andy Reid made the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 36 that gave the Eagles a field goal, a gimme field goal in the third quarter. The game was lost when Harrison Butker missed a field goal that would have been a 3-point. So that's when the game was lost.
Okay, so John, so why the sensitivity?
Welcome back here on the 1 o'clock hour, the midday show. 97.5 The Fanatic. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Robin producing the show today. 3-0. 3-0 on a Victory Monday. Football Monday on The Fanatic, which is brought to you by Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit nopaybryant.com. While we're talking about The Fanatic itself here, we got a big thing for you. Big thing going on right now. It's your deal of the week.
Good one.
Check out the Fanatic deal of the week. Get 2 adult combo tickets to the Bates Motel for the price of 1. So
always popular this time of year. Coming up,
very,
Halloween.
very half off. Halloween thrills at the Bates Motel in Glen Mills, one of the most frightening haunted attractions in the country. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. I heard that in the opening room of the Bates Motel, they are going to subject you to the entire first half of that game again. You're just going to have to watch the Eagles offense in the first half. You're going to have to watch the kickoff returns all in that first half. Kyron Williams on repeat.
Puka Nacua still catching.
Yes. You're going to get a Dory Jackson highlight. Oh, sorry. That's me. But yeah, get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. Always excited when we run this offer because this is one of the ones that goes like crazy.
Last week, the offer went really fast, too.
Yeah. Bonesaw Brewing, right?
Sold out. Bonesaw Brewing. So this
sold out
one
before I could even ask for anyone.
Hey, any extra of those laying around?
Anything fall off the truck?
Yeah, the Bates Motel one, I imagine. Quite popular right now. So everybody's going to go.
Yeah.
Might as well go get half off.
Makes sense to me.
That it does.
Checks out to me. One thing that also makes sense to me, opening up this offense after what you saw in the second half. We've talked about it all day today. It's like a relief. I almost feel like overjoyed at what I watched, like in the fact that they just started moving the ball. And A.J. Brown, we played for you a couple times what he had to say. Obviously, Devontae Smith is thrilled with it. Jaylen Herz gets to put up some numbers. When he's threw that third touchdown pass, it was obviously the touchdown pass that, gives you the lead, all those things.
Feeling good
about it. There was half a second afterwards where I turned to someone in the room like, he's averaging a passing touchdown a game. We're back.
We're back, baby. All the way back. Book it.
I was like, because really part of what I'm rooting for is also not having to do the exhausting conversation in the offseason. So when he has 3 passing touchdowns in 3 games, it's like, all right, we're back to 1 per game. Now we're just good. Oh, it's only up from here.
Give me 17.
And you say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it matters to some of you. That's the reason why I'm
It matters to a lot of people out there, as we've heard on the text chain.
Yes, people not happy.
Text line is like, oh, you don't understand. Stop it.
But Saquon Barkley talked postgame about what this win shows and about being critical of their effort so far.
I think it shows what we already knew, that we're tough and we play together. But at the end of the day, we got to go back and be critical of ourselves. That game could have went the opposite way. Our defense did a really good job, and the Rams honestly let us continue to be in it, and we found a way to win. But you can't let that happen again. And that's a beauty of this team. We're happy and excited about this win, but always looking for room to improve.
And I like the mentality there of talking about, we're always looking for the way to improve. We've got to be critical of ourselves. It's just they finally found a rhythm offensively through the passing game. And Saquon has to know at some point, like, if they find that consistently,
that's going to
things
help
going to
him.
open up for him.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because they stacked the box against Saquon Barkley. It's not a surprise. We've seen it now. You're going back to the Super Bowl. You've seen it for several games, and it works. But when it's very simple. It's like when you have a double team in basketball. Someone's open, so that means A.J. Brown is open, Devontae Smith is open, Dallas Goedert is open. You should be able to get those guys the ball. And I think that was the troubling thing last week against the Chiefs. You did not see that, and so it was like, okay, what are we doing? So yeah, at the end of the day, everyone's going to get a chance to eat at the table.
Right.
And I think that we also wanted to have just an evenness about it, not lackluster on, you're stopping the run, so Saquon's not getting anything for momentum-wise. Those 88 yards against the Chiefs were hard-earned 88 yards. But then you didn't see the correlation of like, all right, well, he's not getting anything going on the ground. Why isn't there a response through the air? And so I think this week, finally, in the second half, you saw that response. And I'm not going to say for the game because it wasn't for the game.
No, but for the half. I mean, that's...
I'm just going to focus on the second half.
As you should. Lock in on what that second half was. And I'm hoping they lock in on what that second half was, because that second half is an example of what they can be, what they should be. They should be that. That is what they are capable of doing. And there's no reason they can't be,
right? It's not just on paper anymore. Because on paper, he's like, on paper, you've got the best receivers. Yeah, you do. But now in actuality, you've seen the evidence of it. So.
And that's the thing where I think we'll look at what this week turns into in terms of conversation. Because right now, all I can see is, honestly, Hertz being praised for being a winner across the national landscape right now, which is great. Enjoy that. I'm thrilled with that. I'm sure at some point it's going to come to, like, well, yeah, he's got Smith, he's got Brown. But, like, them using their weapons should not have been a storyline as much as it was here the first 2 weeks. Them actually airing out should not have been the storyline through the first 2 weeks here.
Right.
Them figuring that out in the second half is why I opened the show asking if you think this is going to be the jumping off point, the place where they're going to be able to push this offense forward to what it can be. That's the thing. It can be. And
should be.
It should be week
be.
in and week out. And that's what I want.
We need the will be.
It will be.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
That's the biggest thing for me right now, watching that game. Like, the second half was like, I'm just turning like, you see number 11? I remember him. He's a lot of fun. You know, Devontae Smith.
Where he is.
Look what he's like.
Further down the field.
And that touchdown pass also to close out, like to give them the lead, was basically, I'm going to trust you to get to your spot, and I'm putting this pretty much where you can get it and go make a play. And they did.
And that's the thing. AJ, what Nick Sirianni called him one of the best deep ball throwers that he had seen. So you know it. It's in your arsenal. And you have great ball catchers in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I mean, these guys, we talked about it before. There's 50-50 balls when it's going to either of them are not 50-50, 70-30. They're almost always going to go in their favor because of the way that they, not just in the crisp routes, like Devontae Smith, great route runner, like very precise, but in the way that they're able to leap and secure the ball. Like, it's just impressive. And I finally feel like, yes, they saw it, and your hope is that it's going to continue. I just wonder if it's just going to be the whole way through, or if it's not going to be eased into again, and they're going to see a little bit of a slow start, and then they're going to remember, like, oh, wait a minute, you know what we have in the back pocket? A.J. Brown, 13 yards, go.
A.J. Brown is number 1-1, and according to Ricky Vitalico, I am number 1.
I thought maybe that was Ricky.
He said hello on this Monday. Coming up, final takeaways from a Sunday of football, looking around the National Football League, and, of course, the final thoughts on this Birds victory. 3-0, Amy Fadul. Wonderful day here on the Midday Show. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Middays, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Start your...
All right, so our first question for DeCecco here comes from Colin from Philly, and he says, how do you think the Eagles will try to match up with the Rams wide receivers? Will they let Quinyon Mitchell travel against their number one or keep him on one side?
Yeah, I don't think you can travel with this team because they move around so much. So that was something that I looked at going into this, and how they utilize Puka and Devontae Adams. And Tutu Atwell, by the way, is a really good vertical threat, undersized receiver who can beat you deep if you kind of sleep on them. But, yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to be afforded that luxury this week.
All right, what else we got?
All right, this texter asks, after watching how open some of the Chiefs receivers were, do you think the Eagles defense will be able to cover down the middle of the field against the Rams?
Yeah, good question. I mean, the Chiefs receivers didn't get, they didn't really uncover as well as you might think.
There was the collision course play, but
and then the one where Thornton won on the 49-yarder. But I think they should be able to cover up the middle of the field. Zach Bond and Jihad Campbell have done a really good job of plastering that second level. And Drew Makuba, I think, the rookie who had the interception that led to the turn in the game that John talked about yesterday. Yes. I do believe that he's continuing to build off of each game and get better the more he plays. So he's playing with a lot of confidence right now as well.
Take us back, your thoughts on the Thornton play. Just summarize it for people. I had a couple people asking here about how did you consider that bad coverage? I didn't.
No. Quinyon, it looked like Quinyon had to get back over, and he still almost made the play.
Correct.
But it just goes to show you, and that's why I wasn't overly as confident in the Eagles being able to pull that one off, because you have to account for Patrick Mahomes and being able to make things happen.
Sure. All right, what else we got?
All right, we have a check-in here from John in Allentown who asks, we know there's a question about the route tree for receivers, but what are you seeing specifically with the concepts? Too basic, too long developing? What's your take on that?
I love that question.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think they're
That's
a little bit.
football guy
Great question.
I think right now they're a little bit more on the basic side, a little simplistic, but they were designed for Jaylen to get the ball out of his hands based on the pressure that they were facing at the line of scrimmage. I think that's going to change moving forward. Now, the Rams do have a fast-flowing defense with a lot of younger players like Jared Verse, and they have Fisk and Byron Young. So that's something that to keep an eye on.
Who was that, Connor? Did that person put it down?
That was John in Allentown.
John in Allentown. Notice he saves that text for Ask Football Guy Andrew to check.
I appreciate the question, John. Thanks.
He didn't send it at 6 a.m. to us.
It's amazing. We have an Andrew and a John on the show, but
He
Andrew
saves that,
DeCecco's
yeah.
football guy. That's football guy John on the text line.
That's
All right,
amazing.
We got time for one more. What we got?
All right, so Joe checks in. Joe from Schwenksville, one of our winners of the Wendy's gift card.
Wow, good job,
At 7
Joe.
o'clock hour. And he has a question as well. He wants to know if you thought that the Eagles were being too careful in their game planning against the Chiefs to just try and cut down turnovers, and that could have led to the offensive unproduction.
Yeah, Joe, it looked that way to me. And again, when you're in that kind of environment, it's Kevin Patullo's first game on the road calling plays. The Eagles were the better team. At that point, you don't want to, you become a little bit more risk averse. So, yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it.
Welcome back. Final segment here of the Midday Show alongside Abe McCool. I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you. A little sports news, like sports world news, I guess.
Yes.
Taking a college basketball. Sorry, my nerdum for college basketball will just eventually show itself.
It's a welcome here. Safe place.
Bruce Pearl.
Oh.
Expected to retire as head coach at Auburn.
What happened?
Well, there was word that he might run for office.
Uh-huh.
He's retiring as the head coach of Auburn, Bruce Pearl. So there's some college basketball news on your Monday morning.
He's retiring on September 22nd when they start in less than 90 days.
His son's going to take over the team. So you get to run for office. Your son gets a job. Everyone ends up happy here, I guess. Hey, man, this is the world we live in. Instead of seeing if they pick your successor, you just retire the week before and guarantee the month before.
That is absolutely the lamest thing to do. I'm Auburn.
I'm just reporting the news.
How in the...
I'm just reporting the news.
You know what? It's things like that that make me glad that there's NIL. Mm-hmm. Because coaches have this free reign to do whatever it is they want to do and wreak havoc among their programs. And these players are stuck there sometimes.
Not anymore.
Now you can leave. You should be, because it's stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's news out of the college basketball world. What a world.
Also, Auburn legend. Stop it. That's just short list. Why? Because he won what?
All right.
I mean, listen, for Auburn.
A decade, he's been to a couple Final Fours.
Sure. Uh-huh. It's Auburn, so I guess that'll take because it's like,
Yeah, not everyone's Kentucky.
No, I'm just saying it's Auburn and the
Kentucky,
fact that...
Yeah, he's not a legend. I get it. The higher expectations where you're from. I got you.
But I mean, it's just a low bar.
I'm just saying. All right.
Also, can you call him a legend when he leaves your program high and dry, like a month and a half before the season? Whatever.
I don't know.
Don't get me started. This is just I'm literally thinking about 8 people I should message right now.
Yeah, go after your Auburn friends.
No, well, yeah, I know a lot of people from his days at Tennessee.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well, okay, now I know why you're against Bruce Pearl. This all checks
It's all coming together, isn't it?
There is a certain Auburn alum that I'm very curious what they think about this. That I would love to get the thoughts of. Yeah.
That's a good point. Wonder what he's thinking.
Wonder how he feels right now.
I think he thinks his program was left high and dry.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, the charade is that college basketball becomes with some of these things. But luckily, we're talking about 3-0 Eagles team. We don't have to worry ourselves about
Good, I don't
War
wanna
Eagle.
worry, yeah.
We could just worry about the Eagles, and the Eagles being 3-0. Out of Sunday, we talked about We did Besides the Birds way back at 11:30, which feels like it was 10 minutes ago, but somehow it was over 2 hours ago. And this show has flown by.
It has.
I think Connor said it today when he came out from like one of the breaks and was like, I don't know how you fit. Was it you actually, Sean Robin? Now that I'm saying this, it might be you that said this. I don't know how you fit everything that happened in that game into 4 hours. Like, there's so much from that game that you want to jump into that you could do 12 hours of radio on this.
I agree with that sentiment, but I think that was
it was a pretty smart thought. I probably shouldn't have assumed.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen, I had to get the shot back. You took a shot at me earlier.
He did.
I was waiting. I was giving you an opportunity to take a shot back. You had nothing there. All right, moving on. But the game itself, like we can dissect more and we will throughout the week. They win that game. The Rams showed you they could play with you again. And I don't think anyone doubted the Rams could play with you. But they showed you just their capabilities. There's a lot they feel like they've left on the table, but they've left things on the table now multiple times against the Eagles. Like, that's just a part of who they are. There's a flaw there against the Birds. They don't execute at a high level. I imagine if you're a Rams fan today, you feel a lot like a Phillies fan a few weeks ago going to Citi Field. Like
it's just we're snake bit. We can't
Right.
beat this team, get them out of our faces. We don't want to face them again.
Yeah. So
I don't care what they're going to say about, oh, we're almost in it. That's definitely a sticking point in their brains.
Right.
Right?
I think as a Rams fan today, you're like, I never want to go back to Lincoln Financial Field ever again. And because you lost, there's a chance in the postseason you might find yourself
Exactly.
there one more time. So that's a big thing from a big picture NFL conversation. I think from the NFL this week, the Packers showed you that they still have flaws. Jordan Love showed you that he still has flaws. Around the rest of the NFC, I can't tell you that I'm necessarily coming away like tremendously impressed with anyone. I could tell you that the Saints are a disaster of a football
Kellen
mess.
Moore has to be rethinking some of his life decisions.
Does he?
I don't know. It doesn't even look fun.
I said that I would go be a part of his staff down in New Orleans just for
It doesn't
the pure.
look fun.
You're in New Orleans. You're fine.
It does not look fun.
You're fine.
What are you going to like drown your sorrows after that sorry game? So that's a sorry football team.
You could be bad anywhere in the country. If you're going to be
Yeah,
bad
true.
somewhere, be bad in New
Worse
Orleans.
than being bad in like Detroit or something.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
cold.
You're going to be awful. Like even
that is just a bad product though. It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
even,
it's ugly.
It's not even entertaining.
But the Seahawks was the best point differential in the NFC West, so raise the banner. I don't know. Darnold didn't look bad, but it's the Saints. So there's so much you can't really take.
I
from
know.
that. The 49ers beating the Cardinals.
That
was like the empty calorie team. Like one of these teams in the West is going to rack up empty calorie wins this year,
The
and they're
Niners.
going to be good. I think it's going to be the Niners.
Yeah.
I think the Shanahan magic again shows itself in that game where it's just like you give him any quarterback, he's going to find a
He'll
manufacturer.
find some way to win. Yeah.
The South stinks. The Falcons showed their true colors. They stink.
That was awful.
Bijan Robinson, on my list. Would have been a perfect 3 for 3 on Ray's plays from Friday. He did not hit his over in rushing yards against a bad Panthers team. It's not necessarily all your fault. I understand Michael Penix stunk.
Well, they've got 7 quarterbacks, and apparently they've got no quarterbacks.
But then the North continues to intrigue you. The Packers, we talked about it. The Vikings have the game
Are
they
the Bears not completely ridiculous?
Yeah, they are ridiculous. It was good to see them get the win they did, but I'm still trying to figure out what this Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson marriage is.
Well, it worked for one day.
Right, against a bad defense. We've established the Cowboys' bad defense. We'll see what the Lions do tonight against the Ravens. But to that point about the Vikings, I'm just glad that we could put the Jake Browning can fill in for Joe Burrow thing to bed once and for all. JM said on the YouTube chat, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Chiefs still alive.
Still alive. You knew they would be.
Broncos, another brutal one-possession loss for them. Chargers at 3-0.
Justin Herbert, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but look, they're gonna probably be a playoff team. Colts.
That's fine.
Colts might actually rack up some wins.
Daniel Jones, remarkable. What a turn of events.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, no.
It's good.
No.
It's good. The nickname they gave him there is good. Indiana Jones works. It does. It's good.
You just call him Indy?
You could. You call the team Indy. I think he's
Heavy
Indiana
eye roll.
Jones.
Heavy
Now, Indiana Jones. I'm very curious for you, Sean Rodman. Who played Indiana Jones in the movie?
Like most recently?
No,
There's only one.
The one.
There's only one.
When
There's
those
only
movies
one.
came out, the actor
We
that
just did
played
this.
Indiana Jones.
We just did this. He
Well, I
was
wasn't-
also in Blade Runner. No, we just did this.
He was in Star Wars as well.
Star Wars.
No, I know, but I wasn't.
He was.
I wasn't
He's
the
in
one.
the. He's
No,
in the
you
show
weren't the one.
Shrinking.
We're asking you
with
to answer
Jason
it.
Segel. He's in the show Shrinking.
Who played him?
Yeah. You're telling me right now, and I know the name, and I see the face, and because the pressure's on right now,
oh my gosh,
it's getting to me. It is.
They're folding like a lawn chair.
I'm literally folding like a lawn chair right now, and I know who it is.
Blade Runner, the new one and the old one.
I know, and I've seen both of them. I've seen Star Wars, and for some reason,
Han Solo.
Yes, I know Han Solo.
I'm
I
going
know
to throw
Shrinking.
this pin at you.
Go ahead. There's a glass in between.
Oh, don't let me down. Austin let me down. Sean, don't let me down.
I mean, I know who he is, and for some reason, the name is escaping me right now. I mean, you go to Jackie, 42. He played what's it called in 42 as well, with Jackie Robinson. He played the owner.
Correct.
Yes. I know. You can look at me all you want.
I'm trying to like help you.
Here, what stadium do the Lions play in?
Also, the name of a past
Harrison
president.
Ford.
There you
Harrison
go.
Ford. Hey.
I was like trying to like give you as much. Okay.
I was trying to stall for myself to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got there.
All right. Anyways, so moving on from what was difficult there to acknowledge.
The pen is safely in my hand.
The Colts might be able to rack up enough wins to win that division and like be the empty calorie team.
The whole division is an empty calorie team.
Honestly, the South should stick to college football.
Yes.
What I've established through 2 weeks, the AFC and NFC South, year in, year out, prove to you that the South is good for college football and not much else in
Oddly
the
enough, the
football
whole
world.
state of Florida is really struggling at something they usually dominate: college and pros. They're really poor. And the Bucks are the only ones.
Jacksonville 2-1.
Oh, they are 2-1. That's right. Sorry.
The Texans might stink.
Also, the state of Texas is usually good at football. Not so much.
CJ Stroud is the latest in a long line of quarterbacks. Maybe we should wait until 2008 until they play 2 consecutive seasons.
Oh, you talking about?
Isn't Miami ranked second in the country?
No one cares about the
I
Hurricanes.
think they were third. But like Florida can't win. Florida State's
LSU's
not
8
good.
right now.
Oh, I thought Florida State lost.
They're 3-0.
Oh, then obviously I was wrong on that one.
All right. Wait a second. The Hurricanes are now second?
Yeah.
Third or second?
They're second in
Who
the
dropped
AP Top 25.
Who dropped the 3?
Who was
Penn State?
Oh, Penn State.
Oh, no.
I thought Miami was 3, and he said
I
no,
was
they're
like,
number
as far
2.
as I knew, Penn State was number 2.
Yeah, I guess I came
Big
out.
weekend.
Well, they didn't play anybody.
I know. Big weekend.
Played the old bye.
I just know that there's a certain person in my life that definitely woke up today thinking there's an anti-Penn State bias.
You got to play somebody.
They're playing somebody this weekend. Should be a good one. Oregon this weekend.
Yes.
Look at me knowing my Penn State knowledge.
Whiteout.
Yeah, it's the whiteout. Also, the AFC North tonight the Ravens could lose to the Lions, sit at 1-2, and be the team I feel the best about in that division because Jake Browning not going to get it done, and the Steelers they beat the Patriots. I'm still not convinced on this whole Steelers thing. So that's a look around the NFL, a little additional to what we got in terms of the Eagles this week because they're 3-0, and that first half can be a real disgusting display of what we want from this team of like just not being able to move at all offensively, trying to sell out to help out a secondary that needs its help with Dory Jackson and giving up a ton in the running game and still giving up the passes to Puka Nacua and special teams that just had no answer for returning kickoffs. All that can be true in the first half. And the second half, they show you they're just so darn good. It can not matter at times. And that's the impressive part about this football team that we got from this weekend.
I think they're hopeful, yes. There's a lot of things to take away from that second half. I think the most important part is that what we were talking about is that they know that that's in their bag. They can use it. They've seen it. They've experienced it. Let's just see it for longer than just a quarter and a half.
Wonderful. Wonderful stuff.
Seems so simple there.
That's all we got. Wow, he's playing. He has no faith in me to hit the out time. He's actually playing me out.
Wow, you got like 15
This is like
seconds.
a bad award show here.
That's the Harrison Ford comment.
Yeah, he's upset. Well, appreciate you, Sean Robin. Great job
Appreciate
producing the
you.
show. Amy, I'll see you Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing you Wednesday. I'm Ray Dunn. Hope to talk to you again real soon right here. Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic.